cultivators. Welcome to Podcasting is Forbidden in the Cloud Recesses, the only lesbian-hosted podcast about delusional magic waymaster. I'm Roy, aka Big Turtle House.
And I'm Fallon, aka What a Hell, Schwanna Woo. And we're here to talk. We're here to talk about
Mo Dao Zhu Shi.
Mo Dao the Zoo the Shi.
Mo the Dao the Zoo the Shi.
Mo the Dao the Zoo the Shi. Possibly one of the most iconic chapters in the novel.
Well, yeah,
primarily the latter one.
That's true. We also.
The first one is fine. The first one has some real good bits.
The first one is there are a lot of bits in these chapters.
There are quite a few bits.
Let me tell you about bits.
There are quite a few bits to, leverage the unimaginable horror and suffering and gore that they do experience. However, there are bits.
There are bits.
There are bits.
Funny comedy goofs and gags.
There's funny comedy goofs and gags.
There's also... We've been gone for a little bit.
We have.
But in that time, we've racked up 3 episodes of Q to just kind of barrel through.
And I'll tell you, they were good.
They were some fucking... We were taken on some... I at least was taken on some adventures with these Q episodes. So
I was taken for a ride.
So... Here's what I'm talking about. So real quick, I'm just gonna blow through these. First one is the funny Lan Wangji goes to Yiling and has lunch date with Wei Wuxian and Aion.
It's very good.
And Aion decides that Wangji is his dad and Wei Wuxian is mommy.
Yeah, and he literally says that instead of saying, you know what he says in the book, which we'll get there. It's not really a spoiler if you've read it. I'm sure most of you listening are familiar with this scene where he's rich Gaga and poor Gaga.
Yeah.
So
also known as Mommy and Daddy.
Also known as Mommy and Daddy. Now,
that's the thing. The two genders, really Mommy and Daddy.
Two genders, Mommy and Daddy. That's it.
So that one is pretty standard Q fare for what we've seen so far.
Absolutely.
The one after that is... So Aion says to Wei Wuxian, I want to be like you, Mr. Yiling Patriarch.
God!
Wei Wuxian, trying his damnedest to be a good role model, injures this child so many times, and I don't like that. I feel so bad for this little baby boy.
This boy is acquiring trauma at an alarming rate. I mean, he has already acquired enough trauma to probably last him several hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of therapy sessions in the future.
Just an estimate.
But I know, right? But this is just
it's a lot.
Wei Wuxian is trying. He's not trying to intentionally traumatize Aion, but...
Yeah. He's got good intentions, but he's a fucking buffoon. He thinks it's funny to bury a child in the ground and then raise the dead. Why? And...
So you can be strong, like the walking corpses.
He thinks they're going to babysit him. He thinks that bringing the corpses out are going to be...
Lazy. Lazy ass.
Lazy ass. Let me just get these zombies. I got better stuff to do.
And it's like the thing that I like the most about this episode is in the beginning when they're like, you're taking care of Aion now. And
they just leave a note.
They leave a note. And Wei Wuxian looks back at his horrible bachelor blood cave. And he goes, nah, we're not going to do that tonight.
Nah, not the cringe cave for my fail life. We're not doing that.
The cringe cave for my fail hobbies.
My fail necromancy.
Covered in blood.
God.
Cringe cave for my fail necromancy. Put that on a shirt.
God. So that one... Poor baby. I just feel very bad for this little baby child.
Aion. Like, I can't even think of anything else.
Yeah. And then the most recent one is Wei Wuxian is trying to awaken corpse zombie Wen Young, and he has like a list of traits that he's going to give him, and he's like, these are the things that he was when he was alive, and Wen Qing is there, and she's like...
No, the list of traits is literally bottom,
God.
Big bottom, less diverse
potential
bottom. Like, and Wenqing is like, no. No, you gotta
Scratch that.
You gotta make him buff. So he can fight off all of the bullies. Like, that's why he was bullied in the first place, Wei Wuxian. Don't you understand?
You gotta make him into Casanova.
You gotta turn him into Fabio.
Make him woo
I
the
want
ladies.
this zombie Fabioized.
Make my brother Nathan Explosion.
I want my brother foreverly Fabioized.
God!
That is, do you think that's somebody's fetish where somebody like involuntarily gets transformed into Fabio?
That's just himbofication.
Oh shit! No, yeah, you're right. Wow, what a world we live in.
So Wei Wuxian puts himbo powder into the Wenyoung juice, and he's like, alright, guess I'm making him a himbo. And what happens? It, like, doesn't quite work
it has,
as
like,
he
the
expected.
opposite effect, almost. Or, like, not even the opposite effect, just, like, a completely unrelated effect, it seems like.
It's something weird.
It was difficult for me to understand.
Yeah, but when...
So if anybody understood that one, let me know.
Yeah.
But eventually he comes to the conclusion that... Wenqing is the one. Wenqing is the one.
Yeah, she's like... Nah, I just gotta live with it. My brother's a bottom, and...
We just gotta let him be who he is.
Gotta let him be who he is. So Wei Wuxian puts the boy juice in him. I don't like how I said that. He's mixing his big batch of Powerpuff Girls formula, and he puts all the Wenyan components in it. And then he comes out, and Wenqing is like, yep, there he is. There's my perfect, beautiful baby boy who I love. And she hugs him.
She starts crying.
And Roy starts crying.
It made me so happy to see Wenqing like that, even if it was in little Q.
She goes on a whole thing about how he's the most perfect and unique baby brother, and I fucking cry.
It was so...
Retweet if you cry every time.
It was so good and healing for me.
It's so good.
That shit rolled. That was so good.
It whipped ass.
It was so cute.
God, it was good.
Really, really solid, good Q episodes. They're doing a lot with it. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Q.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Q. But in addition to Q...
we are here to talk about a couple of chapters.
A couple of them.
Yes.
And some things happen, and I'm going to summarize those, if you don't mind.
Please do.
Yeah, so chapter 53, should I do these in one big go, or should I do...
Yeah, because chapter 53 was just a little poop.
Yeah.
Unless you would like to take them apart chapter by chapter.
No, I'll just go in one thing. So, chapter 53, Courage Part 3. Picking up right where we left off, as usual. The island isn't an island, it's a big, scary, snaky turtle. There's a bit of a skirmish. The Wen guys try to shoot it with arrows, and Wenjilu, like, almost gets Wei Wuxian, but it's fine. In the middle of all of this, Wang Lingjiao has taken it upon herself to try to brand Mian Mian in the face with her branding iron. Wei Wuxian notices this just in time to, like, know Mr. President himself on in and shoves her away, and he takes the branding on the chest for Mian Mian, and he screams. There's some more confusion. Wen Chao commands all his guys to get the fuck up out, and they do that. And the rest of the disciples try to catch up to them, but it's too late. By the time they get to the entrance to the cave, Wen Chao and his boys have chopped the vine that they used to climb down, and they sealed up the entrance. And Jin Zixuan is so fucking mad.
It's just dirty.
It's just dirty. Zhang Chen goes over to Wei Wuxian and is like, you fucking idiot, stop trying to die! And Mian Mian is kind of in disbelief. Lan Wangji points out that there are maple leaves in the water, which, due to water reasons, means that there's gotta be an opening to the outside that they can access by swimming. Everyone manages to distract the big turtle long enough to let Zhang Chen swim down and look for the opening, which he does, and there is. There's some back and forth about the logistics of everyone escaping while the turtle is distracted. Then, that same fucking rando shitty lawn kid from the last chapter decides to be a hero and shoot an arrow at the turtle, but it hits Wei Wuxian in the arm instead, and the kid is like, oops, and just dives into the water and swims off like an asshole. Wei Wuxian tells Zhang Chen to fucking go, and he does, angrily, and then the turtle goes to bite Wei Wuxian, but Lan Wangji gets bitten and dragged away instead. Wei Wuxian jumps in and, like, pries its mouth open so they're both able to just kind of roll out. And they go hide, and then they're alone. And Wei Wuxian's first thought is, uh-oh, but Lan Zhan's boo-boos. And that's chapter 53.
His boo-boos!
Boo-boos! And then chapter 54, Wei Wuxian yoinks Lan Wangji's forehead ribbon off his head and uses it as a tourniquet, and Lan Wangji is mad and scandalized. Wei Wuxian's brain gets really huge because he remembers that the sachet that Mian threw at him has medicinal herbs in them, so he uses those for first aid shit. They tear their clothes up so they can use them as bandages. Lan Wangji slaps some of the herbs on Wei Wuxian's titty because Wei Wuxian just forgot that he's been branded with an iron because he's the person that he is.
He didn't even think about it.
Why is he like this? Then most of the chapter after that is just exchanges between the two of them where Wei Wuxian is like genuinely helping but being so fucking annoying about it, and Lan Wangji is being so fucking petty about Wei Wuxian being annoying at people who aren't him. But also, Lan Wangji is very mad that Wei Wuxian keeps disregarding his own well-being for the sake of others. Not that he says that. And
of course.
He gets so fed up with Wei Wuxian being a dumbass that he bites him, which is good. He
can't do anything else!
Ow. Ow. But they finally managed to settle down long enough to do brain shit about their whole situation, and they realize the big turtle is the Xuanwu of Slaughter, which is basically, you fucked up a perfectly good turtle god, look at it, it's got depression, and nobody's ever been able to defeat it. It just went to sleepies when it got cold about 400 years ago, and it's been having nap time ever since, and that's chapter. Sleep long time.
Sleep long time.
So, that brings us to chapter 55.
Our new extra spicy bonus chapter.
Yeah, gotta do 3 of them.
3 of them.
3 of them. Courage Part 5.
Courage Part 5.
So Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji talk a little bit more about the Xuanwu of Slaughter, and that kind of segues into them talking about who's gonna come rescue them and when. And, Lan Wangji says, well, it's not gonna be the Lans because their shit's in shambles, my brother's missing, and my dad's dying. And he starts crying, and Wei Wuxian feels bad, and it's kind of awkward, and it gets a little too real, so Wei Wuxian spends the next while, giving Lan Wangji a lot of space, and being, very to the point when they do need to talk. And he makes a point of it not to make fun of him.
Yeah.
And not be annoying for the first time ever in his life.
He's good for a little bit.
He's a good boy for a tiny bit. They do start trying to formulate a plan to get out or whatever, because obviously it's going to take too long for anybody to come get him. They got to do something. So, finally on the 4th day of being down there, they gather a bunch of weapons and whatever are lying around, and Lan Wangji ties a bunch of bowstrings together, and this is where we learn about the cord assassination technique, which rules. It's a Lan sect exclusive. It uses Guqin strings to kill shit, and it was invented by the only female Lan sect leader who ever existed ever, Lan Yi, Queen shit.
Debatable on the Queen shit, depending on how you feel about the next page.
Well, it's women on top. But,
God.
Anyway, the boys come up with a plan, and it starts with Wei Wuxian waiting until the Xuanwu is asleep and all tucked into his little turtle holes, and he sneaks inside of his shell, and it is fucking gross in there. The book uses the phrase corpse sludge more than once, so do with that what you will. Wei Wuxian is walking around inside the turtle mess, and he finds this nasty, rusty old sword down there, and when he grabs it, he realizes it's just fucking evil as fucking Jesus Christ. But he doesn't really get to dwell on it because the Xuanwu has woken up and it's mad. There's a big action sequence. Wei Wuxian narrowly avoids being vored and just hangs on inside the Xuanwu's mouth. Lan Wangji is outside of the shell with a bunch of strings set up at the shell hole openings, and he has to hold his end of the formation for 6 hours before the Xuanwu finally dies. And Lan Wangji pulls Wei Wuxian out of its mouth, and he is looking rough. He looks like shit. They realized that the Xuanwu, thrashing around must have collapsed the hole that they were going to escape through because they can't find it now. Wei Wuxian gets mad. He is still kind of intrigued by the nasty evil sword that he found inside the Xuanwu, but he decides not to say anything to Lan Wangji about it. he starts showing signs that he's just kind of like totally overexerted himself, and he probably has an infection or something now, so Lan Wangji has to basically pin him down to keep him from making his own life worse. And then the rest of the chapter is Wei Wuxian acting like a chatty baby who won't shut up and telling Lan Wangji he's boring while he's sleeping in his lap, and then it ends with him asking Lan Wangji to sing him a song, and he does, and Wei Wuxian asks what the song is called, but the chapter ends before we can find that out. And it's a time. So, 3 of them.
3 of them, 3 beefier,
big,
well, 2 normal boys and one slightly beefier boy.
Yeah, several of them.
So we got a treat in store for you.
Have we ever? So, the thing that I've learned about the Xuanwu of Slaughter, in these 3 chapters, is that it's just a big, sleepy, grumpy turtle.
A big, sleepy, grumpy turtle that doesn't realize human beings are what they are and just likes to eat.
Yeah.
And it likes to vibe and it likes to sleep.
That's
and it's a big, stinky one.
He's a big, stinky turtle. There's so much shit happens, especially in chapter 53, that just feels like he's just sleepy. He's just sleepy and cranky.
He's just waking up. He maybe took
a 400-year nap.
He took a 400-year nap. He maybe took a sleeping pill or 2. And he's just really having a little bit of trouble waking up. People are shouting. There's a lot of hot shit going on.
Yeah.
Hot and loud, and he doesn't like it.
There's all these little things running around, all these creatures.
He's trying to vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe have a little snack. And these folks are really kind of...
They're up in his shit.
It's
too much to deal with when you've been asleep for 400 years. Can you blame him?
No, I mean, you really kind of can't. I mean, I know he's evil and shit, but...
Like, yeah, but also, like... The thing, well, he's evil, but he's also got, like, really good evil dar, because on the second page of chapter 53, there's a part where it, like, indicates that the Xuanwu just knows right off the bat that Wen Chao's vibes are just rancid.
Yeah. Well, Wen Chao really does not do himself any favors.
When does he ever?
Yeah, that's the problem. He really does not do himself any favors here. It really... He's just an idiot. I just want to talk about what do you think would happen if in the real life meat space, an islet, like maybe in the Pacific or something, that people had been living on for like 100 years, suddenly started moving, and it was like a giant horrifying monster. Hashtag what would happen? Hashtag what will you do?
2020 shit.
2020 shit. Like, I'm looking forward to 2021. Because this is bound to fucking happen.
Listen, folks. 2020 keeps fucking happening, because one thing, and I'm going to talk about this in a little bit more detail when we get to our housekeeping, but one thing that happened to me in the last week is that I broke my middle finger.
The middle one.
The middle one on my dominant hand. And that is the most 2020-ass bullshit to happen to me all fucking year. In a year of nothing but 2020-ass bullshit.
Because, you know, the fingy has to be in a straight splint. So she's constantly just flipping everybody off with her tiny little middle finger.
My tiny little baby turbo finger.
Your tiny little baby turbo finger now. It's quite the turbo finger.
Turbo fingy.
It's reinforced. It's bionic.
I'm a cyborg now.
She's a cyborg now, and she will be for the next 6 to 8 weeks.
You hate to see it.
You truly hate to see it. She's gonna truly
complain.
Face God and walk backwards into hell.
Fucking
the hell that will be 2021, because you know it will be.
I'm just saying, I just know. At this point, I'm just saying that if an island where people were living rose up from the sea and revealed itself to be a big stinky turtle, I wouldn't even I wouldn't even bat an eye at this point. I would just be like, yeah, of course.
100%.
It's Thanksgiving,
That's
baby.
what I'm saying, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm fucking waiting to happen. Like, I was listening to that song by Volbeat, where they're, like, talking about the I was like, I'm fucking ready. Bring him up. Bring him on up here. Let him wreak some damn havoc. I'm ready.
What else could he possibly be doing right now?
What else could possibly go wrong in this goddamn hell of a year? Many things were described as a hell of a something in this chapter. These chapters, by the way. It was very good to me.
Oh, yeah. Jesus fucking Christ. We haven't even started on this, but...
Yeah, but so old Schwanawoo rises up. Yeah. Turp meat rises up out of the water. Wei Wuxian's like, fuck.
Yeah, because he's standing on it. And it rises up, and it looks back at him, and it's got a couple of maple leaves on its head, which is adorable.
It's really cute. This big, nasty, craggy tortoise, and it's just got a couple little baby leaves on its snout.
Just a cute hat.
And it says, Wei Wuxian exclaimed under his breath, which I just kind of imagined as,
yeah.
The quietest possible exclamation.
In quotation marks, just a single lowercase a.
Absolutely, that's what I wrote down.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Thank God.
That's exactly it.
Oh, God. But yeah, so...
And so he's still got Wen Chao, obviously. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, okay. Well... So the head comes up.
Mm-hmm. He's wearing his cute hat.
Everybody starts fucking freaking out.
As they would.
And he's like, old boy, like, turns his head around to look at Wen Chao and Wei Wuxian. He's like, excuse the fuck out of me. This is my body.
I'm trying to sleep.
I did not consent to this.
Excuse me.
You said, I consent. And you said, I consent. But you didn't ask if I consent. Get the hell off of me.
Isn't there someone you forgot to ask? Schwanwood Slaughter.
The Schwanwood Slaughter that you're standing on.
Oh my
like
God.
Furniture. That's not my kink, boys.
God. Jesus.
So he's a weird giant armored nightmare snake.
Yeah, he's a big turtle with a really long snaky neck.
Really long snaky neck. It says this wasn't the average tortoise.
It's not the average, because Wei Wuxian looks at it and goes, what a large tortoise.
What a large tortoise? That's like kind of how I read it in like ellipses.
He's trying to figure out whether it's a tortoise, a turtle, or a terrapin.
Oh my God.
But yeah, it's very big. It says even 3 burly men wouldn't be able to put their arms around its dark crown, so it's 3 hugs in diameter. We know this unit of measurement. We've been over this.
3 hugs in diameter.
Big turtle house. So, Wei Wuxian, like, he's staring at it. He's trying to get a picture of the whole thing, and he realizes that its eyesight sucks because it's
snaky.
It's snaky. He see with smell.
He sees with the smell.
He see by sniff. And
then he starts blowing off some steam, you know? Really blow. Really having a little sniff of it.
The maple leaves that had been floating in the water just happened to be near its nose. It spurted out the air likely because they were itching.
It tickled.
He's just being sleepy and grumpy.
He did a little sleepy sneezy. A little snuffle.
He did a little snuffle. He's just grumpy.
It's just, here's the thing. I think it's just horrifying because of how big he is.
Yeah.
Like if he were a decently sized tortoise. A respectably sized tortoise.
A tortoise of usual size.
One that was not an insult to nature, God, and assorted.
One that wasn't full of, like, corpse sludge, like a big gross jelly donut.
Listen, can you prove that a regular tortoise isn't just full of corpse sludge? Not of humans.
Fucking probably!
You say you can probably prove it? Or that they probably are full of non-human corpse sledge.
Yes. So
Hey, I'm just trying to be right. Tell me I'm right. No, sorry. No.
So whatever. So when Shao is like, I'm gonna beat this thing into shit. But he's also an idiot, and he's literally like,
he turns towards Wen Julio. He's like, why aren't you helping me yet?
help me the fuck out! And John
He's like screaming.
John Cheng is off to the side, and he's like, oh my fucking god. And
John Cheng, because that's gonna freaking wake up the tortoise even more.
Yeah.
Wen Chao's out here yelling like a freaking buffoon. And
it's pathetic. It's miserable. So
God, I'm just floored by the willful enactment of Murphy's Law by this idiot at every possible turn.
I swear to God,
opportunity.
Buffoonish.
It's just incroyable.
So
and he
Xuan was kind of waking up, and he immediately detects how just god-awful Wen Chao's vibes are, and he's like, I'm gonna eat this bitch.
He's wiggling around like a worm on a hook, baby.
Yep. But Wei Wuxian is like, well, you know what, I'm here too, and I don't want to get caught in the crossfires of this. So Mario Jump,
he throws the sword, shoots his shot. Mario Jump.
Damn, dude, he sure does.
He takes Wen Chao along with him.
Yeah.
And he jumps onto another island and he's like, please don't tell me that this one's a huge tortoise as well. And I mean, I understand his concern.
At this point,
it's like once bitten, twice shy, right?
Yeah. Once bitten, twice turt. But,
once turted, twice shy.
And then, John Cheng yells out, hey, watch your back, and Wei Wuxian spins around at this pair of yaoi hands coming at him, because
there it is.
It's Wen Zhulu. And he's coming at him with the force of his big, evil, normitizing hand.
Yeah. And he feels he's about to, like, go to, like, push at Wen Zhulu's arm, and then he's like, because he feels the absolute rotten vibes emanating off of him. And he's like, no, this is going to get me in trouble.
It's the stank hand.
So he just kind of zags.
Yeah, he zags.
And that gives Wen Zhulu the chance to snatch Wen Chao away again.
Unfortunately.
And gain control of this man-child.
He really is. He's one half of Wen Rohan's large adult sons.
Yeah. And so people start shooting arrows at the Xuanwu. And unfortunately, it does jack shit. It's like throwing toothpicks at an armored knight.
Yeah. They just kind of hit it and go boing. They make a comically funny noise.
Yeah, boing.
As they ricochet off. Yeah.
Ting, 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 ting. So, because the thing about the Xuanwu is that it's fucked up in every possible aspect of its life.
Mm-hmm.
That skin has not been moisturized in thousands of years.
Nah.
I don't think it's even seen a good wash.
Nah. He's just been down. Listen, when you get fucked up on your path towards becoming a god, and you end up a fucked up turtle creature,
it's like
living underground, what can you do but sleep for 400 years?
There's nothing left to lose at that point, you know?
You got nothing.
You don't even got your pride left.
Nah.
I really feel for this dude in retrospect.
Honestly, yeah.
I understand why he needed to die, and he did need to die, but I feel for him.
Yeah.
He had a rough go of it.
Yeah. I'm feeling for this critter.
But then fucking Wei Wuxian sees a Wensec disciple like failing really bad at like loading an arrow, and he's like, God, fuck this shit. So he just steals the arrows and the bow from him. He's like, if you can't do anything right, you can't do anything right, do it yourself, or what the fuck ever.
He says, move.
So he loads it, but then his girl protecting senses start tingling.
Yeah, his women respecting juice kicks in, because Wang Lingjiao has decided that now is the time to commit girl-on-girl violence.
It's the perfect time.
I don't know how they managed to heat up her branding iron. It's probably magic.
Yeah, probably magic too.
But she's got two dudes holding Mian Mian down, and she's about to brand her in the face with the iron, which we hate to see.
It's normal.
And Wei Wuxian says, "Mr. President, look out," and and like basically jumps in the way of this. But what he does,
it's really fucking good what he does. This
is fucking incredible. So
he smacks Wang Lingjiao's hand that was gripping Mian Mian's hair out, and then he like power palm strikes her in the chest.
He punches her in the boob.
He punches her in bulb. He punches in bulb, and she spits up a whole hell of a lot of blood.
He punched in bulb.
He punched in bulb. The worst possible thing you can do to the worst possible lady.
Y'all, I don't know how, I'm not gonna act like it compares to, like, getting, like, kicked in the nutsack, or, like, stubbing your toe really hard, or whatever. But getting hit in the boob, or, like, having your boob, like, hit something itself fucking hurts.
It hurts a lot. There's a lot of nerves in there.
Booby sensitive. I'm just saying. So he punches this bitch in the titty, and
she goes flying back.
But the thing is, he catches that branding iron.
And you know, if you've ever hit parts of your hand in like the oven, you know how light of a touch it takes to really fuck yourself up.
Dude, for the longest time, the only scar I had was this scar on my hand from when I was making pizza rolls one time. I know the struggle. It's exactly the same.
Most of my scars are burn scars. Yeah.
So Wei Wuxian go burn, and he yell, and this is kind of when Chao is like, Jiao, get over here, and
we get the lovely description of what it smells like.
Yeah, it smells like cooked meat. And then that's gonna come back. That's gonna come back in a bit, because Wei Wuxian can't stop from doing bits.
He can't stop from doing bits. So when Chao he sees Wang Lingjiao has been owned.
Yeah.
And he screams at Wen Zhiliu to get the Jiao Jiao back here. Get Jiao Jiao. And like Wen Zhiliu's like, okay. And I really feel for this dude. He just kind of gets ordered around and jerked about like a kid's pet dog.
Yeah. Just completely thanklessly.
Absolutely thanklessly.
Miserable. So he goes off and he gets her and he tosses her at Wen Chao's feet.
Yeah, he's like, fuck, fine.
He's like, here, she's yours. Your problem now. And so this is where, once again, I'm still on Chao Watch 2020, where I'm still trying to figure out what his like level of cloudovation is. And like last time I had one of these checks, it was when he had Jiao Jiao and they were going downwards on his sword into the cave. And now he he has her and he goes upwards. So fine, you win this one. I guess you can do that, bitch. The fuck ever. But
wow, tell him how you really feel.
No.
Good God.
But so all the other cultivators, all the other kids in here like try to chase after them, but they don't quite make it in time because Wen Chao and his boys have chopped down the vine that they had used to climb down there.
Zishuan calls them dog thieves.
He's so mad.
The worst insult you could possibly toss at someone: a dog thief.
I'd be mad if somebody stole my dog.
Me fucking too. That's the worst.
Terrible.
Absolutely terrible. Jin Zishuan really shines in these next couple pages.
He's so good.
And so like they're basically fucked.
Yeah.
They're blocking the entrance up from the vine too because they're assholes.
Yeah.
And
because it's not like they have any like sect heirs or anything in here.
No, of course not.
Fuck those kids.
They really said fuck them kids.
They said fuck them kids. And so everybody else is stuck down here. And Jin Zishuan is like, can you fucking believe the audacity The nerve!
These two idiots really be doing this to us.
They stay doing this shit.
Let them know, Jeansy Schwan. Let them know.
He says that hell of a couple can really do such things, can't they?
He's mad as hell. and the kids are like, oh, well, my mom and dad will come find me. They'll definitely come find me if they hear about this. And the kids are like, yeah. And then somebody else is like, bro, they probably still think we're getting brainwashed.
Yeah.
The ones are just gonna make some shit up about this. We're never gonna get out of here.
Oh my god.
They're like, oh, we're gonna die. and it's Zheng Cheng gets over to Wei Wuxian, gets him, kind of starts supporting him, and they walk over. And Wei Wuxian's like, hey, you want some cooked meat?
Yeah.
A little bit of meat.
He says, let me joke about this.
What else,
clown.
What else can you do but goof about it, though, right?
I guess.
I mean, sometimes you accidentally get yourself barbecued.
I guess the fuck so.
Shit, it already happened, so...
Yeah. Can't go back. But Zheng Cheng gets mad because that's what he does.
No jokes, no fun allowed.
He hates jokes. You ask this man if there's such a thing as a good joke, and he will say, fuck you.
He says, fuck you. He threatens violence, and then, so Mian's over there, and she's following them, and she's crying really hard.
Yeah, she's in shock.
And Wei Wuxian's like, hey, come on, stop crying. I'm the one who got barbecued.
It's
all right?
fine.
Like, you don't want me to cheer you up, do you? How about you? Why don't you cheer me up? Come on. Zheng Cheng, come on, stop carrying me. It's not like my leg's broken.
God.
It's like, hear that, Lanchan? Why won't you let me carry you, Lanchan?
Honestly.
Like, and all of Mian's little girlfriends are gathered together, and
they're realist bitches.
They're the realist bitches. They're supporting her, and Lan Wangji's like kind of watching them. Zheng Cheng's like, "Excuse me, where are you going?"
And then Lan Wangji's brain reenacts the parabola video.
It's time
as
for
it
the
does.
galaxy brain shit.
It's time for his brain to turn into two weird blue aliens that exchange body parts with each other. And
spinning round in this mammalia.
because he realizes that there are leaves in the water, and that can only mean that they came down from the up part.
Yeah, down from the river.
Yeah.
They got sucked into some kind of hole.
Close to the edge, down by the river.
Yes, the tortoise has to be guarding it. Big Toto.
Big turtle.
It's inside of Toto House.
Turtle House. So he kind of, or everybody kind of puts it together, and they're like, oh, okay. All of their brains converge into one really huge pulsating brain.
Yes.
And they realize that what they're going to have to do if they want to get to the hole in the water is somebody's going to have to distract Mr. Turtmeat while everybody else is able to go down. And is it Wei Wuxian who decides that, like, Zheng Cheng needs to go down to decide, or to swim down to see where the hole is?
I don't think it says. I think
Zheng
Cheng just does it.
Yeah.
I think he just does it.
For the first time in his life, he just fucking goes for it.
Yeah, really. And so Wei Wuxian, like, tosses a torch to distract the Xuanwu, and Zheng Cheng, like, dives into the water. And, like, of course, the thing is instinctively attracted to, like, stuff that gives off light and heat, and so it extends out to check that shit out, while Zheng Cheng is very silent and sneaky about sneaking into the water. And, like, as an aside, I truly hate, like, how clever and resourceful these 16-year-olds are. Like, the cleverest and most resourceful I got at 16 was shaving the side of my head with a razor because my side hair was getting really long and I didn't want to pay for a haircut. And then when my head got cold, I wrapped my whole head in a scarf, like a 12-foot long scarf.
Oh my god. I remember you doing that. I remember pictures of that.
That was the only resourceful and clever thing that I did when I was 16, so fuck these kids.
Well, you were never trapped in a death cave with a murder turtle, so...
And I was never trained to be, like, an ultimate martial arts genius either, so I guess that's fine.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Still a little salty about it, but...
What are you gonna do?
Lotus Pier, everybody knew how to swim really well, so Zhang Cheng is really, really good at just being sneaky with it.
Mm-hmm. So he does it, he swims down and he manages to find the hole. Wei Wuxian, while he's like trying to distract the Xuanwu, does some Full Metal Alchemist shit where he slaps his hands on the ground. Zhang Cheng pops up and he says, I found it. And they go through this like rigmarole about like basically establishing a buddy system so all of the Yunmeng boys can lead all of the boys what can't swim down to the hole. Zhang Cheng is like, you had better fucking come along. Are you not gonna come along? And Wei Wuxian's like, don't worry.
I'll get to it. Yeah. I'll get to it. Come on, just go.
Don't you worry about blank. Let me worry about blank.
Like, really?
Yeah.
Fucking Zhang Cheng literally is like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what he does the best, baby. Self-sacrifice.
What are you doing?
No, that's not gonna stop him. He's no simple cat. So,
although Wei Wuxian does do some fat boy ass nonsense. He does it right at the beginning when he, like, jumps onto the sleeping Xuanwu.
Yeah, he's dumb. I'll say that whenever Fat Boy, one of our cats, is eating something he shouldn't be, I will go, what are you eating? Until he, like, gets freaked out and runs away from the thing that he had been trying to eat. And it's very effective.
I think Zhang Cheng should be doing that to Wei Wuxian.
Yes.
What are you doing?
Yeah. Until Wei Wuxian gets, like, so guilty that he's just,
he does guilty boy face.
He does guilty boy.
But they're like, all these kids are like diving into the water or whatever, and then suddenly somebody goes and shoots Wei Wuxian in the arm with an arrow.
Just normal. It was that same lawn sect idiot that was Lan Wangji was glaring at before. The absolute fail son. He had been trying to shoot the tortoise, but he realized that he wasn't going to be able to, and so he like faltered at the last minute. And of course it went into Wei Wuxian's arm, and this pisses Wei Wuxian off. He's like, get the fuck out of here!
I'm working here!
And
then this bitch goes and just jumps in the water and swims the fuck off.
Yeah, he was really expecting to redeem himself.
Like a nasty little tadpole.
From that nasty move that he pulled earlier, but the egg is on his face, so he gets the hell out of there.
God damn. It's just the bitchest move.
Absolutely.
The dickest of moves.
It's some little wrinkly testicle shit.
Wrinkly ass bitch.
He's a wrinkly bitch. And so Zhang Cheng yells at Wei Wuxian to, get going, come on over, and Wei Wuxian's like, yeah, come on, just give it a minute. I will.
I'm on it. You do you, I'm gonna do me.
And Zhang Cheng's got the last load of disciples with him, and Wei Wuxian pulls the arrow out of his arm, and then he's like, fuck, this is all bloody, that's gonna make the tortoise go nuts. Mm-hmm. And lo and behold, the tortoise does go nuts. It says its neck suddenly grew in length faster than ever, and I'm just imagining like a spring-loaded extendo neck, like,
Slinky neck ass bitch.
Like a trombone.
God. Yeah, it's shark rules. So, Lan Wangji comes up and shoves Wei Wuxian out of the way, and then the Xuanwu bites Lan Wangji's leg.
He gets his leg chomped on, yeah.
Yeah, he gets his leg chomped on. Not chomped off, just chomped on, and then he gets dragged.
And that's very interesting, because the Xuanwu could easily chomp his leg off, but he doesn't like broken prey, apparently.
Yeah,
so
he does.
He keeps him kept gently between his teeth. I mean, obviously, the leg is not going to be okay after this. It wasn't okay to begin with.
Just saying.
But Lan Wangji didn't even, he frowned a little bit when it happened. But nothing else. Other than that, he was just fucking vibing.
Just calmly frowning while he receives, unfixable permanent damage to his leg.
Yeah, it's a fucking normal.
God.
Just a Tuesday.
But, I mean, I guess he, that's how it is, because this thing's not gonna eat him. He's not gonna get bored. He's saved by this bitch being a picky eater.
Absolutely. So Wei Wuxian sees this, and immediately the adrenaline rushes through his body because he wants to save his friend, Lan Wangji.
He goes absolutely nutty with it.
He goes Hulk mode. It says it's superhuman strength that exploded within him. And I know this is just adrenaline, but I like the way it was described. Like he's like a flirty superhero. Just saving his man.
He does like funny Popeye moves where he like flexes and his muscles go into his hands and then back up to his biceps.
Absolutely. And so he climbs up and he starts trying to pry the Xuanwu's teeth apart. It's trying to pry his jaws apart, basically, to get Lan Wangji's leg out of there.
And like, to be fair, he kind of does, but also like, damn, what if Wangji got a peg leg, though?
What if Wangji had peg leg?
What if Wangji had peg leg?
That kind of rules.
Peg G?
So, fucking, he's exerting a lot of effort, and he's explained as, he forced strength into his arms as though his life depended on it, the vein at his forehead protruding so much that it seemed to be on the verge of bursting. His face was blood red. And I'm like, stop, it just sounds like he looks like he's holding in a fart.jpg, you know?
He is. God.
What a wonderfully unattractive way to describe him.
You hate it.
You hate to see it.
But Lan Wangji manages to, like, he just kind of gets plopped out.
Yeah, Wei Wuxian manages to force those jaws open enough for Lan Wangji to kind of roll himself away.
Yeah. And he falls on the ground, and then Wei Wuxian, like, falls out too. Because as soon as Wangji falls out, he loses his boost. His 3 turns, or his 3 turns spent in Dynamax ended.
God.
So now he shrinks back to normal size. And he falls down, and Lan Wangji looks at him and is like, "It's you?" And Wei Wuxian is like, "Yeah."
Are you pleasantly surprised?
It's me.
And Lan Wangji's like, how could any of this be considered pleasant?
The fuck you talking about this pleasant?
And that sounds like a diversion to me. But Wei Wuxian's still, running his fucking mouth. He's like, "Oh,
idiots are fucking bantering."
He's like, he's just saying some bullshit. I'm like, save the levity for later.
Honestly.
Please, baby. Like, there are more important things to worry about right now.
This bitch has no fucking motto other than, you know what? Now isn't the time, so I'm gonna make now the time. So...
Now is always the time.
Now is always the time. There's no such thing as not the time.
And so they run the hell away. They got very far away from the Xuanwu, and Wei Wuxian finally stops to rest, and his first thought, the first thing he thinks of once he reaches safety, is Lan Wangji and whether his injuries had worsened.
Yeah.
He doesn't think about anything else.
His very first and most heterosexual thought.
Yeah, it's normal and straight.
Yep. So then we move to chapter 54.
Chapter 54.
So they're kind of like hiding, I guess. They're like far enough away from the pool that they're basically safe.
Yeah, that net can't reach
yeah,
where
it
they
can
are,
only,
so.
Yeah, it can only reach but so far. I mean, Stretch Armstrong, you can only stretch so far before he erupts into corn syrup.
Exactly.
So, yeah. So they're kind of going over their injuries, and Wei Wuxian says, "Hey, can I use your chastity ribbon? It'll be a good tourniquet." And he's
just super casual about it.
Yeah, because he doesn't know yet, so he yoinks it.
Yeah, he just MacGyvers some triage care.
And Lan Wangji is like so stunned by this that he doesn't have the time to react. And Wei Wuxian fucking says, no matter how much you like the forehead ribbon, it can't be more important than your leg, can it?
Listen, I know it's your favorite, but your leg is about to gangrene itself off of your goddamn body. So we're gonna let your favorite forehead ribbon take a backseat to one of your limbs.
And from Lan Wangji's point of view, he's having to decide between his, like, eternal purity and virginity and his leg.
Yeah, that's a pretty... that's like, what is that, a Sophie's Choice?
Yeah, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. Do I keep my leg... Or do I save myself for marriage?
Do I keep my cool true virginity? It's a real toss-up. Jesus fucking
God,
Christ.
so
And so the forehead ribbon eventually loses. He remembers, Wei Wuxian remembers that he has the thingy from Mian Mian.
Yeah, the thingy.
You know, that thingy full of medicinal plants that he begged for.
It's her bag o' herbs.
It's her bag o' herbs. And, you know, he's like, all right, come on, Lan Zhan, sit up, look through here and see if there's anything useful. Because he did the heavy lifting of getting the sachet thrown at him.
Yeah.
So now he's just going to let Lan Wangji do the easy stuff. Which is finding what stuff is actually going to be useful to, like, save his life or whatever.
It's her medicinal herbs.
Her medicinal herbs.
It's her medicinal herbs.
He's just rubbing a funny weed on his leg injury.
And he opens it up and there's rolling papers.
Absolutely. It's where she keeps her stash. But they eventually find some stuff that can help.
Stupid. And Lan Wangji says, it's time for me to be petty.
God.
This is so fucking funny. So, Wei Wuxian busts these herbs out.
He's like, oh, they're actually useful. I'll have to thank her properly when we get back there.
And Lan Wangji says, you harass her properly. He's so fucking mad.
Wei Wuxian's like, what? I mean, I am too handsome to be considered a harasser, alright? If somebody like Wen Chao does it, that's harassment. But when I do it, it's me #respecting women in my own unique way. Okay? Let's get that straight.
This.
It's
bad optics. Bad optics, Wei Wuxian.
And Wei Wuxian's like, all right, so take your clothes off. Lan Wangji's like, excuse me?
And
Wei Wuxian is like, take your clothes off, baby. What do you think this is? I totally would have fallen in love with him in this cave here, too. Fucking Romeo Casanova over here. Strip.
Svengali ass.
Just strip.
Doing the moves, strip. Take them off. And Lan Wangji is fucking scandalized. The face of a man scandalized. He has been thoroughly bababooied.
He's been thoroughly bababooied. And Wei Wuxian's like,
the face of a man bababooied.
He gets bababooied. Wei Wuxian's like, all right, bet. So he starts ripping Lan Wangji's clothes off himself.
He sees that Lan Wangji is being scandalized, and he's like, all right, if he wants to feel scandalized, I'll give him something to feel scandalized about. And he's like, what do I want to do? We're the only ones here. I'm making it obvious. What do you think I want to do?
Why does he insist on being like that?
Why is he like this?
Why is he like this?
Why is he like this? Then we get a line about, you know, how he's got a Twink's form, and Lan Wangji, like, can't look at him for too long without, like, trying to hide a boner, basically.
It's pretty much. It describes his form quite, lovingly.
Lovingly.
And he's just, Lan Wangji's having a tough time. I'm imagining this all from Lan Wangji's point of view, like, these next few paragraphs, and I'm like... Yeah, that'd definitely awaken something in me too. I'd fight and or die for that.
Yeah,
most likely.
This is why this novel couldn't be written in Lan Wangji's perspective, because this scene would just be like, for him, this part at least of this scene would just be a key smash.
Incredibly so.
It would just be him going, God damn it, Wei Ying.
And then Wei Wuxian's like, all right, time to get those pants off.
Pants time.
And Lan Wangji is so incensed, he is so furious, he's so offended that he actually coughs up a mouthful of blood.
Listeners, do you ever get so mad that you yarts blood?
Constantly. Constantly.
Yeah, daily. See, this is the shit that makes, like, sometimes I'll see people being like, thinking about their headcanons and talking about, I think X character was Lan Wangji's gay awakening because it would make sense and blah 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 blah. It's like, did you not read the novel? Did you not see that, like, one entire huge point of it is that Wei Wuxian was his gay awakening and he had no idea how to fucking handle it because his sect never prepared him for that?
Well, I'm sorry to say it, but some fans, and people who have read this book, I should say, have not really prioritized reading comprehension.
Some people who have read this novel are wrong. So... Wei Wuxian says, okay, good. That means I've been annoying enough that all of your bad blood has come out.
Literally using his annoying powers for good. I want to do this, but for mental illness.
Right? I wish somebody could fucking irritate the depression out of me. Bug depression from my ass.
I want the bad brain blood out of my body, please.
I just want to yarts my depression out. Can I please?
And so Lan Wangji actually does start to feel a little bit better after that.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, god damn it.
I just cannot believe that Wei Wuxian is so annoying that he can use it medicinally. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's really very powerful.
And Lan Wangji's like, okay, it worked, but like, can you not, please?
I mean, yes, it was excessive. But would you have expected anything less from Wei Ying? Like, really?
No court would convict him.
No court would convict him.
He's just like this. And then Wei Wuxian, famous last words, says, well, you know what? It's good that you puked. It just gets the nasty shit out. Don't worry about me. No homo. Like, L-O-fucking-L.
He literally says, I don't like men.
I'm LMFAOing my ass off.
I won't take advantage of you. I don't like men. I'm like, all right, just put a mark in that,
Put a
buddy.
pin in that. We're going to revisit that.
You're going to revisit that later by yourself very late at night, Wei Wuxian.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Lan Wangji's mad, and then Wei Wuxian's like, okay, you're being grumpy, you're cranky. I see how it is. He's cranky today. And they sit there for another minute, and
it gets a little bit cold.
Yeah, it gets a little cold, and it also gets a little bit quiet. And then Lan Wangji takes some of the herbs from the thing, and he just shoves them onto Wei Wuxian's chest. He just goes,
yeah. Oh, sorry. Right on the titty.
Right on the titty. Sorry, I didn't. Right after we talked about getting punched in the titty.
I know, that was very firm.
I'm sorry.
That was right on the titty breast.
I apologize.
That's okay.
I don't know why I was trying to demonstrate that anyway. Nobody can see this.
Maybe they heard the light thump against the titty breast.
The gentle thump of a titty.
The gentle thump of a titty. I love that he just wants to return the favor that's been done to him, even when he's so fucked up.
I know. Well, Wei Wuxian isn't going to do it to himself.
Of course not. He doesn't value himself enough for that.
Yeah, you know I didn't have to do it to me.
It literally says he had forgotten that there was a fresh wound on himself as well.
I swear to God.
He's like, oh, right, that whole thing.
Oh, yeah, I got the shit burned out of me. And, so Lan Wangji takes his hand away. Wei Wuxian is like...
Yeah, Wei Wuxian immediately takes the herbs off and puts them on Lan Wangji's leg again.
Yeah.
And he's like, come on, it's fine. I get hurt like this all the time, all right? And I just go on with my life. It's fine.
I'm vibing. And Lan Wangji's like, can you just... Please look out for yourself the tiniest bit. And Wei Wuxian is like, nobody else was gonna do it?
I have no choice but to treat myself like shit.
I gotta respect the women.
Like, it really sucks because I didn't know that Wang Lingjiao was gonna pull that nasty shit. She almost got Mian Mian's eye. And Mian Mian is so beautiful, alright? She's just so beautiful that, like, if she was blind in one eye or, like, she had some kind of disfigurement, that'd fuck her up for life. I can't do that to her. And Lan Wangji's like, the thing on your body's gonna fuck you up for life, too.
Yeah, this is where we get a hint of his kind of one of the guiding principles about kind of how he feels about Wei Wuxian, because he says the thing on your body right now will not be able to come off for the rest of your life either. So he's like, he realizes that Wei Wuxian doesn't see his own value.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And he's like, he wants him to recognize that he has intrinsic value.
And Wei Wuxian, at this point, is just not even... He's not in any kind of mental state to even entertain that.
Yeah, he hasn't gotten to that point in his life.
He's literally just like, oh, Lan Wangji, you forget that I have no real self-worth, and therefore no sense of self-preservation.
Bold of you to assume I have any sense of self-worth.
He's like, what is a man without a few wounds and scars?
I gots to look badass, baby. I protected a lady. This is my mark of... This is my women respecting mark.
Oh my god.
And Lan Wangji... once again, just kind of lapses back into petty mode. He's like, yeah, well, she's not gonna be able to forget you ever. I fucking swear to God.
And Wei Wuxian's like,
He's like, what is your problem?
What did I do to you?
Dude! He's like, calm down, what the fuck? And, so they kind of get awkward again, and, Wei Wuxian's like, alright, fine, whatever, I'm moving.
I get it, you hate me. Whatever, don't push me again. Because Lan Wangji had pushed him.
Yeah.
Because he had said, Wei Wuxian had said something about his dad.
He said, this would, have I done something to you? This would be enough revenge to pay for killing your father. Don't go there right now.
Don't fucking go there right now.
We're not going there right now. But, so it gets kind of quiet for a little bit, and Wei Wuxian eventually... It's been probably, I'm thinking, something like 14 seconds, so he needs to say something again.
Yeah.
And he's like, you got such a weird attitude today. Why are your vibes so weird? And Lan Wangji says the line of, in reference to Wei Wuxian possibly flirting with Mian Mian, if you do not have those intentions, then do not flirt with others. You are doing as you please, yet others will be in turmoil. I wonder who he could be talking about.
I wonder who he's talking about. I wonder if it's not just Mian Mian that he's talking about. And, I'm just thinking about it.
And this is where Wei Wuxian's brain becomes so fucking big.
He's like, well, I mean, you're not the one I'm flirting with, so, like, you wouldn't be in turmoil either unless... And Lan Wangji's like, unless what?
Unless what?
Unless what? Wei Wuxian says truly some of the dumbest shit he has ever said. He says, unless, Lan Zhan, you like Mian Mian.
Can I say one thing about this bit? I will give the Untamed one fucking thing for casting Wang Yibo. And it's that when they do this scene, the fucking face he makes is so goddamn funny to me.
He's like, how dare you assume I am heterosexual?
He fucking goes,
are you fucking kidding me, bro? Huh?
How stupid do you have to be? And he literally says, please do not speak nonsense. Talking some dumb shit.
Wei Wuxian says, alright, I'll speak one sentence. Lan Wangji says, are you having fun with this shit?
Are you?
Wei Wuxian's like, yeah. Oh, yeah, you know, my words are as much a trifle as my moves are, which means not at all. You don't know about the genius brain behind these clownish features.
Becoming the Joker in my mind.
And Lan Wangji's like, why am I sitting here having such a useless conversation with you? You know why.
And
you know why.
Wei Wuxian says some more shit. He's like, well, it's just us here. Not much else we can do. And Lan Wangji...
Fucking no, because like Lan Wangji's a captive audience, which is all Wei Wuxian has ever wanted.
Yep. And Lan Wangji looks at him and bites him.
Yeah, he's had about enough.
He is fucking feral.
He bites him because he knows that pushing him will actually hurt him.
Yeah.
He can't get up and do anything else to him, so he has the option of basically just biting him.
Yeah.
So he bites him, and Wei Wuxian acts like this is the worst kind of offense that has ever been enacted upon him.
As he does with any kind of small inconvenience.
Absolutely. So Lan Wangji bites him like a dog. Wei Wuxian freaks out. But he just does not want to let go. He's doesn't
like,
let
stop,
go.
Stop, I'll go away.
He says, you're a dog, you're a dog.
It hurts so much, Wan-chan, please.
It's the lost art of locking your teeth onto your opponent and releasing some pent-up anger with a little bitey bite.
Bitey bite. Wei Wuxian says, you're a dog, so I highlighted that line and said us.
It is us. And it said, when Lan Wangji had finally finished his fit and felt satisfied...
It's so fucking good.
Wei Wuxian he scuttles away like a hermit crab,
like a raccoon.
And Lan Wangji's over it. He's fine.
He fixes
this whole
his
thing,
hair.
This whole thing is almost like drunk Lan Wangji 2.5, except he's just delirious from his fucked up leg.
This is so fucking funny.
It's so good to me.
God.
So he fixes his hair and clothes and stuff, and he tries to act like nothing had ever happened.
And Wei Wuxian is over there thinking why did he do that? I was nice to him. I saved him. Am I really that annoying? And then Lan Wangji says thanks, and he says thanks, and then shit's normal again. Because they're fucking idiots. God, it's so fucking good. It's so funny.
He's so stupid.
So then Wei Wuxian is like, please don't tell me thanks. Especially, I don't like hearing thanks, especially when it's from somebody like you. Put a big ol' pin in that.
An extremely handsome, talented man. I can't handle a thanks from you. Thank you.
From a much higher social status than I am.
Absolutely much higher social status.
And,
let's not even mention that. Holy fuck.
Yeah, and Lan Wangji's like, relax. It's not, he says, ce n'est pas deep.
Like, I wouldn't even, do you really think I would be able to kneel and worship you right now? And he has a point, like,
he got that busted leg.
Was Lan Wangji just gonna, like, lie completely flat on his face so as to avoid fucking with the leg, or just, like, completely, like, stretched out?
Just planking to show my
like,
respect.
Muffling his praise into the floor.
He does the Luigi falling over thing.
God!
And then the next line is, it seemed that he was finally back to normal.
Just completely emotionless again. It's fine.
God. So they settle down, and then they start, like, they put their brains together. Their brains turn into two little claymation puppet mens, and they go on a little adventure together, becoming Maynard in my mind. And and they start kind of being like, all right, we got to figure out what we're doing here. It's gonna take, they do like a big math problem of like, well, if it takes Cheng and the others 1 or 2 days to go down the mountain, or this long to get up the mountain, and it takes the Wensec this long to go that way, and blah blah blah, we gotta figure out how long we're gonna be down here. And but then it kind of just turns into, well, what is this thing we're dealing with? What is Turk?
They talk about maybe it's that divine creature, that little thing, that Xuan Wu.
The Xuan Wu.
And it was also known, it's also known as the Nether Xuan Wu. It's definitely exactly what they were thinking. It's a combination of a turtle and a snake. And the nether means north in this instance, which I guess it always means north, but I had no idea.
Neither did I.
It says since the nether was also in the north, which does not make sense to me, but, I'm not even going to question it.
It's the neither Xuan Wu, and it bothers Beetlejuice.
Yeah, he's the god of the northern sky. But Wei Wuxian's like, how can a divine beast look like this? And he's like, showing off the teeth.
Yeah.
He sure as shit did not need to demonstrate that, but I'm real glad he did.
It's good.
And he's like, but he eats people. He doesn't really seem like a god.
Yeah.
And Lan Wangji's like, no, I think it's not a real divine Xuan Wu. I think it got fucked up on its path to becoming a god. So it's a Yao now.
Yep.
And it's deformed. Like, he used to be a god, but now he's just some OP fucked up guy.
Yeah.
I honestly think this was a Coldplay song.
Oh my god. Bam, 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 bam. Shoot for the moon. Even if you miss, you'll land in a cave and turn into a hellman. That's the lesson of these chapters.
That's fucking it!
So yeah, like, he like, tried to, I guess, it was gonna become a god, but accidentally, oops, and now it's the sitcom of Xuan Wu's.
Yeah, and Lan Wangji said it is known that 400 years ago, a fake Xuan Wu came out and fucked Qishan up.
Yep.
And they called it the Xuan Wu slaughter, and it killed a bunch of people. And Wei Wuxian's like, did Wen Shao really lead us to hunt the Xuan Wu of slaughter?
This bitch Wen Shao thought he could come down here and get 62 little meat shields to help him defeat what could have been a god.
Normal. I think, totally doable.
Normal spelled Normle.
And Lan Wangji's like, yeah, it looks bigger than what the text said, but should be it.
Yeah, he looks bigger in person.
Wei Wuxian's like, didn't they kill it back then? Lan Wangji's like,
nope. No, he was taking a little nappy nap.
They got ready to kill it, but it snowed really hard, so he disappeared, so they never really saw it until now.
It was Fat Xuan Wu week for a while.
Yeah, Fat Xuan Wu week. And Wei Wuxian's like, it was hibernating. And I love when a chapter ends and you can 100% hear the dramatic music.
There's like a big swell of violins, and then the OP or the ED comes in. Or more like chapter 55 comes in. Because now we're on that one.
swings right in. You don't even need to worry about that cliffhanger, friends. We've got you today.
And it starts with a way with Sean asking, but even if it was hibernating, it didn't need to sleep for 400 years, did it? Like, no, but he wanted to. Let him have this one thing.
He wanted to. Shit.
Waiting. Let him take a little nappy nap. It's not that hard.
He had a really big couple of decades.
He had a big day. He was very tired. And
Lan Wangji's like, yeah, boy likes to eat.
Yeah. And Wei Wuxian says, oh, so it overate.
Just by a couple tens of thousands, yeah.
Just a couple of tens of thousands.
Just a couple of... Jesus, fuck.
But yeah, it was literally Fat Schwanwu week because it just ate a ton.
It ate a ton. It wandered around, did nothing but eat.
It hoarded too much food into its shell.
So that it could savor it. And then it still hasn't really digested everything to this day.
He took a little nappy nap, and that's where he is to this day. Until just now, when he woke up with some leaves on his head.
And Wei Wuxian's like, hey, how long can you last without eating or drinking? I should be pretty good, but after 3 or 4 days, I think we'll probably die.
There's like some behind the scenes more brain math about like how long it would take, or which sects are like the closest, and Zheng and Lan are closest.
Sorry, here's the thing. Cheng is quote unquote quite clever.
Yeah.
So he'll probably show up first.
He's quite clever. The Wind Sect's people won't stop him. There's nothing to worry about. And I'm a very pleading emoji face at Wei Wuxian's faith in Zheng.
Yeah, I love when he compliments the boy.
I know, he believes in him so much. He loves him, brother.
And some other people that Wei Wuxian believed in were the Lan sect, but Lan Wangji is quick to correct him.
Yeah, here's the thing about the Lan sect. They're like, they're going through it. They're
going through it. The Cloud Recesses has been burnt down. Wei Wuxian's like, but, you know, is your dad and your brother's still there? And
he gets kind of morose.
He gets really morose. And
he says, look, my dad's dying. Nobody knows where my brother is.
Can someone please hug this boy?
I will give him the biggest hug.
And Wei Wuxian's like, oh, shit.
Oops.
And like, Wei Wuxian really hadn't been anticipating. They said that, like, Daddy Lan had some injuries, but he didn't anticipate them being that bad. Mm-hmm. So he's like, oh, God. And he feels like shit.
Yeah, he's like, is it too late for me to take back that dad joke? Ooh, and I feel like a big old jerk.
He feels like a total jerk. He feels a sense of awkwardness and doesn't know what to say. Like, this is verifiably the worst feeling in the world.
Yeah.
When you make some kind of joke or you say something then later you find out that it was the exact wrong kind of thing to say.
Too soon.
Fuck.
Oh my God. It's too real.
It's way too real.
So we get a little bit about how sect leader Lan had been doing he had been in meditation jail.
Yeah.
So, minding nothing out of his own world. But he's still dead.
He's still dad, and he's still dead. He's dying.
Dad on deathbed, and Shichen is missing.
Dad on deathbed.
Stop!
Shichen missing.
Don't do this, Ray.
You're fucking welcome. It's what my brain does automatically with anything with that syllable set.
Yeah. But Wei Wuxian is like, oh, no wonder he's cranky.
Yeah, he's cranky. And then, you know, it goes from cranky to cryy.
Yeah, and Wei Wuxian's like, oh, ooh.
Oh, he feels so fucking bad. And he feels bad to even be, like, watching Lan Wangji cry, because he's one of those dudes where, like, watching him cry feels like some kind of violation.
Yeah, it feels too intimate.
Like a sin.
Yeah, like I shouldn't be seeing this. Like this is too private a moment.
Right.
It's kind of some toxic masculinity shit because it's like I can't watch a dude cry. That's too weird. But it's also like at the same time combined with the last ooh shit I said the exact wrong thing. It's very much relatable teen things.
Oh yeah, he just doesn't know what to say at all.
Yeah,
and like I'm glad he doesn't say anything because I think he'd get a hole punched in him if he just went, yeah, hang in there, man.
Yeah, keep your head up, buddy. Here's a poster of a kitten hanging onto a branch and it says, "Hang in there, baby."
And so he waits a decent amount of time to say anything. He goes, Lan Chan. And Lan Wangji just goes, shut up. like, woo, okay. Ooh. It says, Wei Wuxian, shut up.
Damn.
So then Lan Wangji's like, Wei Ying, you fucking suck.
Yeah, and Wei Wuxian's like, oh.
Oh, okay. Like, fine.
So.
And I mean, I understand the boy who cried wolf or whatever, but he really was just trying to help here. Mm-hmm. Shit.
I know.
Oh my god. And so Wei Wuxian just shuts up.
Both of them, poor baby boy.
Both of them, poor baby boy.
And Wei Wuxian is like, man, this fucking sucks. I'll give him some space, but before he does that for a little while. He gives him some space, and then he's like, hey, not trying to get on your nerves. On God, I am not trying to be me here.
But your clothes are dry, man.
Yeah. Do you want your you want your undies back? Your me undies? They're over here hanging. I'm gonna hang on to your nasty robe though, because I'm cold and you're not gonna want to wear this. He says, "Don't worry about being Dirt Boy. I'm Dirt Boy.
Don't worry about being Dirt Boy. I'm Dirt Boy. You take those clean clothes, man.
I will wear the Dirt Boy robe."
Yeah, he's like, it never would have been suitable for Lan Wangji to wear. Not for that beautiful boy.
Not for that
perfect biscuit of a boy.
So
that perfect buttermilk biscuit of a boy.
Beautiful buttermilk biscuit boy.
So they're out there for 3 entire days. And the only way they know it's 3 days is because Lan Wangji's a fucking freak.
It literally says the creepy sleep pattern of the Lansex people.
He's a freak.
He's a freak.
Like, and I for one would not complain about having a personal human alarm clock.
God.
Like, do you think that the Lans can kind of tell time based off of how sleepy they are?
Yeah.
Oh my god, do you think that's their, like, personal internal clock?
Yeah.
I think it's, like, absolutely 100% accurate all the time.
Yeah.
It's like somebody comes up to them, they're like, Hong Kong June, what time is it? And he closes his eyes, gauges his sleepiness. He's like, it's 3:36 p.m. And he's exactly correct every single time.
So that's how they're able to tell time. They just kind of rest and take it easy for a while. And it seems like
Lunchtime settles down a little bit.
Yeah, and it seems like his leg isn't getting worse. So that's good enough. Wei Wuxian is like staying out of his way because he probably still feels shitty, and he's like, I'm just dude needs a minute. My man needs a minute. So
he pretends that Lan Wangji didn't freak out at all, and that's probably the greatest kindness that Wei Ying could have done at this point.
Yeah.
And so, while they were chilling, they kind of scouted around the pool. They were checking out the Xuanwu, and they initially heard some chewing. And then it kind of morphed into, like, snores.
He's snoring!
Like,
He's sleepy and snoring!
When they say chewing noises, involuntarily all I could think of were, the deathbed crunchy eating sounds. Even though the deathbed was shown to dissolve its victims and not chew them whatsoever. And yet it still crunched. Like pretzel crunch.
Remember how there were shots of, like, bed gut juice and people's, like, parts and food floating around in it?
Yes, that's exactly what I was gonna say.
God.
Like, what? How does that translate to a crunch? How in the world does that translate to a crunch? I don't understand. I hate it so much, and it's all I could think. It's all I could hear in my brain when I read this.
Remember when the dude sticks his hand in and he pulls it out and he just has
it's
like
just a skeleton,
and he just looks at it like, oh, guess my hand's a skeleton hand now.
He just chills there with it. For, like, the rest of the movie. He just has a skeleton hand.
Remember the scene where the lady takes, like, 15 fucking Christian minutes to, like, try to climb away from it, and then she finally gets there, but then, like, a bed tentacle comes out and pulls her back in?
That was the most excruciating, several minute period of my entire life.
What kind of fucking... We're talking about...
Jesus.
We're talking about Deathbed, the bed that eats people.
I think it's just called Deathbed, the bed that eats.
I think, it is Deathbed, the bed that eats.
It's Deathbed, the bed that eats.
What year did Deathbed...
Like the 70s, I'm pretty sure.
That eats. 1977. What a fucking demon of a bad movie.
It's about, a bed that sucks you into it, and like I said, it just dissolves you.
Okay, so it's not just that. It's a demon. Okay, so I'm gonna read the plot.
Oh, yeah!
Because remember this shit?
My god, they came up with a whole thing about it.
This is fucking insane. The plot summary from Wikipedia. Long ago, a demon fell in love with a woman and conjured up a bed on which to make love to her. The woman died during the act, and in his grief, the demon wept tears of blood which fell onto the bed and caused it to come to life. While the demon rests, the bed's evil is contained. But once every 10 years, the demon wakes, giving the bed the power to physically eat human beings. Only one man, the artist identified as Aubrey Beardsley, was spared, as the bed condemned him to immortality behind a painting, where he must forever witness the bed taking victims. The bed passed from owner to owner until the present day. I swear to motherfucking God.
It was absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
Fear-baiting episode from a while back that Fallon was on covers this.
We did cover Deathbed, the Bed That Eats.
Go listen to that fear-baiting episode instead of actually watching Deathbed, the Bed That Eats 1977 film.
You don't need to give that film any of your time. I believe it is over 2 hours long, and none of it is worth it.
It's not. It's 77 minutes of...
70? Wait, it's only 77 minutes?
It's 77 minutes long, and it feels like 77 years long.
It does! Oh my god, I cannot believe it's 77 minutes long.
An hour and 17 minutes that you're never going to get back. Can you believe?
That sequence of her crawling away from the bed alone was at least 45 minutes.
I swear to God.
It's like that one time, it's like when it gives me the same exact sense of time dilation as when I took that edible at the Rush concert with my friend Nathan. And it didn't kick in until, like, right before the encore when they played, a deleted scene from I Love You, Man. Remember that movie with Paul Rudd where they were super into Rush?
Yeah, and they did Funny Slap at a Bass.
They did Funny Slap at a Bass. And they snuck into the backstage and, ate Neil Peart's sandwich or something. Oh, and I remember that single, I swear to God, it couldn't have been longer than a 10-minute scene. It was... hours that I was sitting there. I was sitting there for fucking hours. And then the encore afterwards. Hours. Hours. And then I was in the car and I had just we're not even going to go into it.
Oh my God.
But then with the strangest shit. God damn.
Oh my God. Deathbed, the Bed That Eats is prime material for an extra at the end of this novel. One of the bonus chapters.
That's true. It's like a bed that's turned into it's a Yao, right?
Yeah, it's a Yao. It's a Yao bed.
It's a Yao bed.
Bed Yao.
Bed Yao.
Listeners, somebody take me up on this. Write the fic where they have to go and do cultivator shit on Deathbed, the Bed That Eats.
It's a case fic. It's a case fic for Deathbed.
Deathbed case fic. God, 1977, George Wary. Oh my fucking God.
So
okay. What the fuck are we talking about?
So Wei Wuxian and Lan Wangji are getting ready to lure old boy out of the water. They get together all of the weapons and shit. This is the 4th day, so they're kind of running out of time. They're running out of energy.
Yeah, 4th day, dawn of the... Wangji picks up a bow. He looks at it. He gets the bow string.
It's Wongi's time to do a funny MacGyver.
Wongi's time to do a funny MacGyver. Wongi time to shine.
It's Wongi time to shine. And also, if you aren't imagining this scene as an inspiringly scored montage, you're fucking wrong.
That's what it is.
He does the music for Mulan or whatever plays as he rips the strings off of all of these bows and turns himself. He gets himself a good old chord.
Oh, real quick before we get into this next bit, because the next bit's important and I don't want to take away from it. There's a bit right before this where they're talking about, how they're gonna go underwater or whatever. And it says, however, they could only roam underwater for 30 minutes.
Only 30 minutes at a time.
Only 30 minutes? What the fuck are you gonna do with 30 minutes of underwater?
What would you even do with 5 minutes of underwater?
Only 30 minutes?
Only 30 minutes.
Are you some kind of baby?
Bullshit.
Ridiculous.
Some kind of child. You can only
Christ.
hold your breath for 30 minutes. What do you think this is? Preschool?
God. So,
Step your pussy up, boy.
Jesus Christ. Step your pussy up.
Step your pussy up. So
This is where we learn about the court assassination technique, and also where we learn about Lan Yi.
yeah, and I doubt we'll ever see the court assassination again. So
Probably not.
so Lan Yi was the only female sect leader of the Lan sect, and she was a Guqin cultivator. And I mean, I just need to take my daily time to stand the queen. Excuse me. So she's got a 7-string Guqin that she can just take apart and do whatever she wants with, and so she uses them kind of as like garrots almost.
Yeah, it's for all of the 2 of you out there, presumably, that's a generous guess, who have also seen 2002 anime series Get Backers. It's some Kazuki shit, so...
Yeah, very good.
Yeah,
and Lan Yi apparently also created the court assassination to assassinate dissidents. So that's not great. I didn't mean to, like, more female drone pilots Lan Yi, but...
Yeah!
It's kind of a more female drone pilots
Literally.
kind of situation.
And so the Gusu Lan sect is kind of like, yeah, she did that, but she did that.
She did that, though.
She did that, though.
Did that.
And, like, under these circumstances, they do gotta hand it to Lan Yi, I guess.
Yeah, and Lan Wangji just says, as far as their strategy goes, we gotta let it bore us.
Yep.
Gotta
through within.
Reach through within. Because the Curtis shell, it's not gonna be penetrable by anything.
No.
And neither is the skin, quite honestly, unless you really get into it.
Yeah.
So they're kind of at their peak right now. They figure it's now or never, so they're just gonna go ahead.
They gotta do the damn thing.
Do the damn thing. And he's like, well, I mean, why don't I go in there? Because your court assassination is gonna be more useful if you're kind of out here, and we're not gonna make you run on that nasty leg. And Lan Wangji's like, oh, fuck, yeah, okay.
And Wei Wuxian, I know a part of him suggests this, not just because it's the best way to do this, probably, but it's also his ultimate dirt rolling adventure.
Yeah, he's gonna go be in the sludge and the mud.
He says, I get to be the nastiest and dirtiest I probably ever will be. Let's fucking go.
Absolutely. And I really like the aesthetic of the big boy that we get a description of here.
Yeah.
He's like covered in moss and long dark green algae.
Yeah.
Like a nasty, nasty little man.
Nasty, stinky boy.
And so Wei Wuxian swim very quiet.
He swim very quiet.
Down by the head hole.
He has some arrows and some iron rods, and he just kind of dips into the head hole. Because this may not be how earth turtles work, but this is definitely how Xuanwu of Slaughter turtles work.
Yep. He sneaks right in there. And and it is so tinky. It is so tinky. He says it reminded Wei Wuxian of a fat dead rat that he had seen beside one of Yunmeng's lakes. He's like, what a hell of a place. A single one.
A single hell.
And he's like, I'm glad I didn't let Lon John come here. He would have freaked out. He's too much of a beautiful, clean, pure boy for this.
Yeah, good thing I'm here to roll around in the dirtiest of dirt.
But I'm a nasty little dirt goblin, so I'm okay.
Gentle snores came from the Xuanwu of Slaughter.
He's just napping.
He's taking a napply nap, and Wei Wuxian is walking around in this nasty shit that's just kind of makes up the interior of the Xuanwu. And he kind of like his hand kind of bumps into something, and it's people hair.
Of course it is. Like maybe sometimes
great.
he really wanted to figure it out, but I'm like, sometimes it's better if you don't know what's in it. Like with fast food. Okay, yeah. Sometimes you really don't need to know what it is.
I don't want to know anything about that. I'm just trying to enjoy a taco. But, so he kind of, like, looks around, I guess, and he's like, he realizes that this substance that's all over the place is, like, partially dissolved corpses of all of the people that the Xuanwu has eaten.
Yeah, because he's
And-
finding, like, boots and limbs and shit everywhere.
And the text calls it corpse sludge, which, without irony or any kind of internet kink shaming, just the absolute most heinous, disgusting, hideous pair of words ever committed to paper.
100%. I
Nasty.
can't think of anything more repulsive.
It's repulsive. It's fucking disgusting.
So the closer he gets, the louder them snores get.
Yeah, and
He's trudging through that sludge. Trudge through the sludge.
he didn't care at all that he'd become even filthier, and I highlighted that, and I said he really is fat boy, he's so gross. But I don't know why that's the line that made me think of him as fat boy.
He'll do whatever it takes. He doesn't care how nasty he gets.
Yep.
He just needs to get what he needs.
After crawling around for the past few days, he was already so grimy that it was painful to look at, as if that's news. Wei Wuxian being grimy and gross.
Yeah, he's just disgusting.
He's disgusting.
He's disgusting.
So he roams around some more, and it's just the sound of snores and just him walking through people substance.
And then he finds a fun sword.
He finds a fun, nasty, rusty sword.
It's dull and it's covered in rust, but he's got that ghost sword, baby.
He's got that ghost
Haunted blade.
Haunted blade.
$150 on eBay.
Blade's haunted.
Blade's haunted.
Remember like a week ago when I found a haunted piano on Craigslist?
Yeah, I love that. We should have bought it.
God, we should have bought it.
I want to be friends with whoever was haunting it.
Haunted piano. But
yeah, he like grabs the sword and it starts just screaming at him.
Yeah, so what happens is he's got his arrows and some iron rods, and the rods, he's got them like on his back, and the rods like get stuck on something, and he tries to get what it is, and he finally manages to find it, and that's when he realizes that it's this nasty, rusty, ancient-looking ass sword, and he's like, "Oh, good, I could use a sword."
And luckily, the sword is being illuminated by this nice orange glow.
Yeah, well, as soon as he touches the sword, that's when he just hears these horrible screams.
Like thousands and thousands of people just screaming their lungs out directly into his ear.
And then we get like a Looney Tunes scene, because, like you said, there's this orange glow, and he realizes, funny comedy, he's right behind me, isn't he? And he turns around, and there's the Xuanwu staring at him, and then there's a paragraph break, which I love, because it's like the beat where Wei Wuxian, like, leans against the corpse sludge wall and pulls out a carrot and says, "What's up, Doc?" It's so good. It's so stupid. But the Xuanwu is awake, and he's mad.
He's angry. That little face is there. Wei Wuxian is standing right in front of those big old fangs.
Yep.
And that guy just roars.
Yep.
And it's not a good time.
It's not good. Wei Wuxian takes the iron rods and he shoves them into the Xuanwu's mouth.
Yes, he locks the upper and lower jaws. And then he just goes ahead and stabs a bunch of arrows into like the most delicate part of his skin, just going absolutely nutty with it.
Oh yeah.
And
desperate times call for desperate measures.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. He made sure to reinforce them so they were nice and thick and actually like did something to the Xuanwu. And the Xuanwu is like really trying to force its mouth shut so the shit curves or whatever.
Yeah.
And so honestly, the Xuanwu's getting a little bit owned right now.
Getting a little bit owned.
It was mad with pain, but I would also say that it's okay to say that it's also just mad in general. Like it's really getting owned right now.
It's really getting owned.
It's like really getting owned.
It's shrinking and turning into a corn cob. And Wei Wuxian was almost entirely submerged in the rancid limbs. Fucking hate that.
Wave of mutilation. Wave of mutilation. It's the perfect song for it.
Dude, so much imagery in this chapter is just, like, extremely metal, though.
I really love it. Like, this could be, like, a Cannibal Corpse
literally
song.
what I was gonna say. This is some Cannibal Corpse-ass nonsense.
Absolutely. So he's swimming against the current of corpse sludge, and then he grabs onto the sword.
George Corpse Grinder Fisher voice. Current of corpse sludge.
Current of corpse sludge. And I'll tell you, that horrible, cursed, screaming sword saves his ass.
It does.
It saves his life. Because he grabs onto it, and he's able to kind of hold on to his position and not get washed away in the gigantic wave of corpse sludge.
Yeah.
And I would say, I feel like, and there's this one part where it says the internal organs of 100-year-old beasts like this one were usually capable of erosion. If one were to be swallowed, they'd melt into a wisp of smoke in an instant. And I was reading it, I was like, this is the wet dream of a very specific kind of guy. Like, guy capitalized.
Found a guy.
Found a guy, y'all.
The Xuanwu guy.
It's the Xuanwu guy, y'all.
So, the guy shows up, but, Wei Wuxian, like, he, like, jams the sword into the Xuanwu's mouth wall or something.
Yeah, and I'll say one thing about Wei Wuxian, he's really good at annoying his opponents until he's able to gain some kind of upper hand. Because he does this, he got it while it was in the shell, and, I mean, it's trying so hard to get out of the shell now that all of its cute, delicate, soft flesh is squeezing out too because he's extending his body so hard. So Lan Wangji's there is the thing.
Yeah, meanwhile
Lan Wangji gets them cords around the shit.
Yeah, he's set up his cords like at the entrance holes, the turtle holes.
Yes, very strategic placement of his strings.
One on each leg, one on the head, and one on, I guess, the tail.
Yep, and he does a buang.
He does a big buang.
He does a big buang, and it cuts into the Xuanwu for the first time. So he doesn't like that.
He doesn't like that. And the text also gets one final own in on the Xuanwu by saying it never had much intelligence to begin with. Just really no-scoped in its final big paragraph of life.
No mercy whatsoever for this Xuanwu.
Brutal. And then...
So he just keeps at it. I mean, y'all have seen this in the Donghua. He just keeps at it, keeps tightening those strings. He stays there for 6 hours.
Yep.
And it's just fucking incredible. And Wei Wuxian's in there stabbing at him for 6 hours, too.
That's some shit. Now, that we didn't get in the Donghua.
We did not. We only got the
6 hours. Yeah.
6 hours.
6
It's
hours.
just fucking incredible to think about the conditions that they were in when they accomplished this.
Yeah.
To say nothing of the fact that they accomplished it at all.
Yeah.
Like, kings?
Kings? Boyfriend shit. So, 6 hours later, Xuanwu dead.
Xuanwu dead. The pool is very thick with blood.
It's gross.
It's metal as fuck. It could be mistaken for a pond from Purgatory or from a very particular cave in Yiling in the next few years.
Oh, I wonder if that's foreshadowing. It also looks like my
foreshadowing.
hair when I wash my hair color out.
That's true.
Lan Wangji falls into the water, or jumps into it or whatever, and he goes towards the Xuanwu's head, which I guess has been severed, or almost severed.
It's woof.
It's woof. And
woof. Lan Wangji's like, Wei.
And he searches the head. He like opens its mouth up, and there's Wei Wuxian inside. Him shrimp.
There's little shrimpy boy.
He's shrimp.
There's the sword that he had been holding on to.
Yep. His entire body was curled up in the shape of a shrimp.
He's little shrimps. He's basically passed out. He had been so close to getting digested by that Xuanwu.
Mm-hmm.
And so Lan Wangji pulls him out, and the iron sword, that horrible painted sword, just kind of falls into the pool.
Mm-hmm.
And Lan Wangji goes, Wei again.
He cavemans Wei Wuxian over his shoulder.
He caveman Wei Wuxian over. He cavesmans.
Cavesmans.
And he like
somebody caves this man's.
And when he sets him back down, he's about to like touch his cheek.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's a little salty that he didn't get to, because Wei Wuxian like suddenly like jolts awake. He's like, "Oh, what's up?
Yeah.
Did we kill it? Is it dead?
Did we do it?"
Lan Wangji's like, "It is!" And he's like really excited. Lan Wangji's arm tightened around his waist. I think that's really cute.
It's good and cute.
And Wei Wuxian's like, "Oh shit, fuck yeah, it's dead.
Fuck yeah,
cool,
we
it's dead.
are the champions."
Oh god, I remember it was screaming and as it rolled around and
let's
fainted.
let's go on out.
Let's get the hole. Let's go to the hole.
He's
we gotta
he's
get out of the
fucking
hole.
rough. He is beat the fuck up.
He is fucking delirious. And Lan Wangji's like, bro, are you good?
Can you? Are you good? And Wei Wuxian's like, I'm fine. Let's get the fuck out. And they like
Lan Wangji's like, all right, I'm gonna help you with that. And Wei Wuxian's like, no,
I got this. I got this. So they, like, try to go down, to look for it, but, like, they don't manage to find the hole.
There's nothing, man.
There's nothing. And Wei Wuxian's like, what the fuck is going on? And
it doesn't help that the water is literally almost opaque with blood.
Yeah, that's a bit of a thing. But, they put their sleepy little brains together, and they're like, shit, the Xuanwu kicked around a whole bunch. It probably covered up the hole in doing that.
We probably have no way out now. Isn't that wonderful?
Fucking sucks. And Wei Wuxian gets, like, legitimately mad. Which is, like, I want to say this is, like, only maybe only the second time in the entire novel that he's gotten, like, legitimately fucking angry, because I think the only other time I remember him doing this was, like, at some point back when they were dealing with Shui Yang. Didn't he get mad?
Yeah, he did get mad.
But yeah, he can have little mad as a treat.
He does have little mad occasionally, and it's very fun to see. Yeah. Because he's usually so affable, you know?
I know, yeah, but he's...
unflappable.
Yeah, but he's so fucking mad now, and he, which is unusual. I wonder if there's any tie between him being genuinely mad and him having contact with this nasty, horrible vibes sword that certainly isn't going to play into his future at all.
Wow, I wonder if that sword might have really awful vibes that are rubbing off on him.
I wonder. So he's like, oh yeah, did you see that sword, Blanchan? Like, you didn't happen to see that, did you? And he's like, it sank. And Wei Wuxian's like, don't worry about it then. And then we get, like, a paragraph about him being like, damn, you know, I wonder what was up with that thing. I really wanted to examine it, because it seemed like it was maybe, probably not anything I could turn into a WMD at some point in the future.
It just says tainted with the pain and resentment of countless humans, both dead and alive, and had heard their screams. Like, this is just another one of those things that I just think won't have any kind of relevance in the future. There's no way that something like that could be made into some kind of ghost WMD. There's
Absolutely
no way that Wei Wuxian would get to that point.
No.
And the fact that it's being brought up right now, I just think is completely...
it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. It's just like a nasty sword, whatever. So,
it's just plot seasoning.
Yeah, so Wei Wuxian is, like, pacing, kind of. He's upset. And
he really wanted to keep that sword.
I know, and Lan Wangji's, like, following him, and then Wei Wuxian just kind of, his legs give out, and, Wangji catches him, and
he takes his temperature. He's like, you are so warm. Wei Wuxian's like, oh, yeah, you're warm too. And Lan Wangji's like, that's because your cane's cold. Wei Wuxian's like, yeah, I think I might feel like shit. Like, this poor boy. Just take a nap.
Take a nap, please. It's, yeah, he's, and, so, like, I mean, so here's the thing. It's been like 4 or 5 days. They've used up all of the herbs. Most of them went into Wangji's leg.
He didn't clean his burn wound at all.
Now he has a fever. That's infection shit.
It says his injury had finally worsened. It's really got the same energy as, like, people die when they're killed. Like, what the fuck did you think was gonna happen?
God.
Oh my god.
And then Wei Wuxian, in the most fucking grievous example of Wei Wuxian being Wei Wuxian, starts beating himself up about being sick.
It's like, how could I get a fever so easily? I haven't gotten a fever in years. You also have never given yourself an infection through a burn wound, but...
Just saying. Lan Wangji didn't feel like expressing his opinion on the quote-unquote so easily part of his words.
I just told him to lie down. Like, I'm like, that's it. Sneak some more Lanchan POV in there for me. Won't you Mo Shang Tong shoot dear?
Feed me them crumbs.
Won't you do that for me, little crumbs?
Little taste.
And so Wei Wuxian is a good boy and he lies down.
The rest of this chapter is so good and funny.
I know. Lan Wangji.
It's like Lan Wangji forcing Wei Wuxian to not do anything and Wei Wuxian going into baby gremlin mode.
Yeah, Lan Wangji babies him. He spoils him a little, and it's like now that Lan Wangji can finally return the favor, he is not about to let Wei Ying just dodge being cared about.
Hell no.
Lan Wangji's like, fuck you, bro. Let me lovingly nurse you back to health or else.
And meanwhile, Wei Wuxian, it's his turn to be drained of energy, But he's also, this is kind of his first taste of discovering his secret favorite mode, which is Pillow Princess Baby Gremlin mode.
Yes, it's Pillow Princess Baby Gremlin mode. The floor is too hard for him. He wants to lie somewhere else. He wants to lie on a lap. Lan Wangji's like, no, come on, you're not a girl, it's fine. Lan Wangji's like, you can just, like, sit in my lap. Because, like, here's the thing. Like, Lan Zhan's thighs are probably so muscular that they'd be, like, trying to use, like, granite as a pillow. Oh, but wait, didn't they actually use rocks as pillows back then? So that would be a perfectly comfortable.
Yeah, no fluffy, comfy mattresses in this world. It's all, like, wood and shit.
They literally just sleep on rocks. That's great.
Just sleeping on rocks.
It's fine.
And
rocks and wood.
And they go back and forth, and Wei Wuxian's like, I'm not joking, I want to do sleepies. And
you're so comfy, come on.
You're so comfy, Wan-chan. And he says there isn't anyone who doesn't secretly like me despite saying that I'm annoying. Everybody loves me, Wan-chan.
Come on, didn't we defy death together now? Come on, you don't want to even give me your lap for just like one little night, please. Please. Come on, aren't you an old man or what? He's like half guilting and half legitimate. It's a very rare move.
God.
And Lan Wangji's like, you're delirious. And he's certainly not wrong.
Yep. But Wei Wuxian falls sleepy.
He passes out anyway. You know something interesting about while he was passed out? He could have swore that he was on a lap.
That's the thing.
He could have swore that he was on a lap and he was getting taken care of and he was very comfortable.
And he rolled around as much as he wanted to.
The ultimate indulgence.
The indulgence.
This whole paragraph is so cute.
It's really
It just
good.
makes me want to die. Like, Lan Wangji only indulges himself when he has plausible deniability. Yeah. You know? Like, he's doing all this. He's, like, stroking his hair. He's, like, letting him lie on his lap. But it's because Wei Wuxian is completely delirious. And Lan Wangji knows that his defense would never... His testimony would never stand up in court.
Yeah. And Wei Wuxian eventually, like, comes back around into, like, more... He wakes up, more or less, and he sees that Lan Wangji is, like, a ways away, and there's a fire, and he's like, oh, okay, I guess I wasn't in a lab. Must have been a dream. And then he gets bored and decides to not shut up for a while.
Yeah, he gets back to his old self, like, immediately.
Immediately. He's like, I'm bored, you're boring, I'm hungry, will you make me something to eat? Make me some of that tortoise meat.
Oh no, wait, he probably eats people. That tortoise meat's probably gross. Never mind.
No, John, you're boring. Your mouth is closed. Do something.
Come on, are you chilling? Or are you, like, just a monk or something? Like, come on. Oh, wait, your founder was a monk. Never mind.
He's just going on and on and on and on. And he's like, how long has it been? You've been out here forever. And Wangji's like, it hasn't even been a day.
Wangji's like, shut up, conserve your strength. And Wei Wuxian's like, oh, you finally replied to me.
God.
How many days has it been, Lan Zhan? Come on. How come nobody's come to rescue us? Like, the amount of calories he is wasting running a fucking marathon with that mouth.
He does not stop.
Inadvisable.
Inexcusable.
It's inadvisable.
Untenable.
Untenable.
He starts complaining about Lan Wangji being boring. He's like, if I wish Cheng was down here, he's fun.
At least he would have kicked my ass entertainingly. Come on, Cheng, where are you? It's almost been a week.
I'm bored, I don't like it.
And Lan Wangji's just like, chill the fuck out.
He's like, can you please take a nap?
Can you please just take a nap? Wei Wuxian's like, come on, I just woke up. I'm bored. Do you really hate seeing me awake so much? Lan Wangji's like, you're thinking too much. I love this shitty non-answer so much.
It's so good,
He goes for that all the time because it's like, it's not like he's lying. He's just saying you're thinking too much.
Yeah. And Wei Wuxian is like, man, nothing works on this guy. He's so boring. I wish he was biting me again, but I'm never gonna see that again. And so then he's so
much fun.
He's like, all right, Wangi, how about this? I'm not gonna fall asleep anytime soon. Let's just do some chit chat. And Wangji's like, well, when do you usually fall asleep? And Wei Wuxian's like, you're so boring.
Oh my god, who asks that?
You're so boring. I'm gonna yes and you anyway, though. And he's like, I never go to bed before 1 a.m, same. And Wang Ji says, improper conduct, a bad habit.
Wei Wuxian's like, you think everybody's like y'all? God, I knew you were gonna be a freaking boner about it.
God.
She's like, it needs to stop. Wei Wuxian's like, come on, I'm sick, I'm feverish, and it translates it as brother. Can't you say something nicer? And I know he just called Lan Wangji Gaga.
Yeah, he called him Gaga.
He said a Gaga.
Yeah.
I know he said
our Gaga. And, this whole sentence just translates as, I'm poor little baby Shan Shan.
I'm just baby Shan Shan.
Shan Shan,
you gotta be nice to me.
Yeah, and then he asks Lan Wangji to sing him a song.
Come on, can't you sing me a song? I feel bad. Won't you sing me a song? And
he doesn't object.
He doesn't object. Lan Wangji starts to sing.
Yeah.
Wei Wuxian's like, oh, that's really nice. What's it called? And Lan Wangji seemed to murmur something. Wei Wuxian opened his eyes. What was it called again? I said it's called Wei Wangji Forever Love Mixtape September 98.
What was it called again? Darude Sandstorm.
And that's the end of the chapter there.
That's the end of the all 3 chapters.
That's the end of the all 3 chapters.
Many of them.
What a wild ride.
What a ride. And we're giving ourselves a little break next time because since we did 3 chapters this time, we're just going to do the little fart of a chapter that is chapter 56.
Yeah.
Poisons Part 1. Kick off some very bad times next time.
Yeah.
So before we get to the Google Translate Essence collection, do you want to do our little announcement about our episode structure? How we want to do this?
Yeah, let's do that.
So, sometimes reading is hard.
Taking notes is hard. Taking notes is hard. I am a person with pretty bad undiagnosed and unmedicated ADHD, so a lot of the time doing notes is the absolute last thing that my brain wants to do, no matter how much I know it needs to be done. Yeah, and no matter how much ADHD will understand.
Yeah, and no matter how much, we both love the novel and we both love doing the podcast, it's just hard sometimes.
It's hard sometimes. I work a lot of hours at my job, and it's very physically and mentally demanding, so a lot of the time it can be kind of difficult for us to be able to do notes in a decent amount of time. So, the workaround that we have come up with temporarily that we would like to try
we're gonna pilot
to that.
this.
We're gonna pilot this. We're going to change up the format of the show a little bit. We're going to
Not too drastically.
We're going to be taking a more real-time approach to the chapters in that we won't be taking notes on them physically. Like, you might hear me turning pages or whatever sometimes during the podcast, and that's because I've taken notes on the actual chapter that's been printed out. And that's a lot of the time what is very time and energy and brain consuming for me. And I know for Roy as well.
Yeah. So what we're going to be doing, the episodes are it's not going to change super a whole lot.
Not at all.
It's going to be basically the same until we get to the actual chapters themselves. We'll do our little intros. We'll talk about Q or whatever. I'll do my little summaries. And then, instead of recapping the episode, or recapping the chapter, what we're going to do is read through a lot of it and react as we go.
We're just going to goof along. It's going to be more of a riff tracks.
More of a riff tracks kind of moment. We aren't going to be reading every single line to get around copyright stuff. We're going to be reading a lot of it, but we're going to be skipping over chunks that are, like, just kind of less noteworthy stuff that we don't necessarily need to dwell on.
Absolutely.
We're gonna do a fun little read and react, and we're gonna see how that goes for a little while. And we have another little announcement to make after we do the Google Translate Essence collection and the questions. But that's what we're doing with this. We're just gonna try this out and see how it goes. To make life a little bit easier, and to also make sure that we get episodes out more frequently and more consistently, because
Yeah,
we would like to
absolutely.
do that for y'all. You know?
100%.
We like it. So let's do some Google Translate.
We will do Google Translate Essence Correction.
Instant correction. So when this episode drops, it's going to be a very special little boy's birthday.
It's a very special little boy's birthday. It's Jin Liang's birthday.
Very special little boy's little baby boy birthday.
Jean Roulan's extremely baby boyish day.
Baby boy birthday.
Baby boy, baby birthday boy.
And I think in honor of baby birthday boy, I think it's time for us to head back to our old friend Baidu Baika and
We're
read
gonna
a
go to
little bit
Baidu
about
Baika?
birthday
Okay.
boy. We'll find out about birthday boy. So let me open up this. God damn it.
Jesus.
We're not going to read about Deathbed. We're going to read about Jin Rulan, characters in Tanmei's novel, The Master of the
It's normal.
The Master of the Demon Dao and its derivative works. Why don't we take a look at the boy and find out a little bit about him?
Sure.
Yeah.
So under character introduction, the son of Jin Zixuan and Zhang Weili, the only existing orthodox lineage and current patriarch of the Jin family in Lanling. They are good friends with Lan Xishui and Lan Jingyi, non-binary sovereign, the children of the Lan family of Gusu, and they are very handsome. They are called Miss because of their arrogant and awkward personality.
Arrogant and awkward.
Me too.
Yeah.
They have no playmates of the same age and are
Playmates.
pure in nature. His father, Jin Shuan, they're having a really tough time with his name, was the third-ranked son of the aristocratic family and was killed by mistake by the ghost general Wen Yang, who was out of control.
Unhinged.
Unhinged. His mother was the only young lady of the Yunmeng Zhang clan, gentle and kind, and was killed by the sword to protect his junior brother Wei Wuxian.
Okay, so we got Yanli using he, him pronouns. That's cool.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Therefore, Jin Liang hates Wei Wuxian and the man who cultivates ghosts.
The man who cultivates ghosts.
Finally forgive Wei Wuxian and others. Same. Although the personality is a bit awkward, he has a sense of justice and a pure nature. With a little correct guidance, he can grow greatly. In the latest extravaganza in 2017, Patriarch Jean has grown a lot.
Extravaganza!
Extravaganza. Absolutely, Patriarch Jean. I love him. I love the boy.
Character traits. From the original work, his shortcomings are obvious, but it is not difficult for us to find his various advantages. It is the combination of these large and small advantages and shortcomings that make this role vivid and full, and the youthful image of youth emerges on paper. I'm skipping over some of these bits. He was tenacious and courageous. When confronted with the soul-eating goddess, the sentence, "If I can't cut her head with this sword, I will die here, I die." It was the invincible courage that the young man became full of strength. Period, space, period.
Sure.
The phrase, "I want you all to open your eyes and see clearly. I am stronger than many of you." Many.
Many, not all.
Stronger than most.
Stronger than most.
Is the fearless and tenacious character of a young man, and a heart that is unwilling to succumb to an arduous fate. An arrogant, unyielding way of heaven.
Sure. Wow, that's very lovely.
You know? Oh no. I just noticed this. Under the piercing edge on the surface, the young man's sensitive and fragile heart has hidden a dozen years of suffering and grievances. General grievance. The young man's arrogance and determination made him never easy to bow to unfair fate and secular obstacles.
Okay.
Under the divergent opinions, he also tried his best to live strong, Bracelet.
Oh my god. Lance Armstrong would be so proud.
You know?
Jin Liang, an animated character analysis of The Founder of the Demon, pretending to be a strong and kind boy. I have told you that I really like Zhang Cheng'en, the great master of the devil. In fact, besides him, there is another person I love, and that is Jin Liang. Whether it is an adaptation of a novel or an anime, the character is very meticulous. Jin Liang is a distressing character. The kind-hearted Jin Liang always pretends to be strong, concealing his fragility and pain.
Aw. He's a distressing character.
Everyone in the story has logic in their actions. Everyone loves and hates everyone. And everyone is innocent.
Doo-doo.
Jin Liang is a distressing character.
Everyone is innocent, doo-doo.
Everyone is innocent, dude.
Everyone loves and hates everyone. I mean, yeah, I guess.
Jin Liang, who looks incredible on the outside.
Jin Liang, who loves and hates everyone. That is really kind of the summary of this novel, though, huh?
Yeah?
I'm having an epiphany. I'm thonking about it.
Clearly, I am much better than you all.
God.
Oh, we know Jin Liang.
We know. This we know. Let's get some questions going.
Let's do some questions. I'm sure we have quite a few.
We got some questions. If you have questions, you can send them to cloudrecessespod.tumblr.com/ask, or you can send them to us on Twitter at cloudrecesspod, just one recess.
You get one.
You get one. And I had this brought up before we started recording, but now the app decided to reload, so I have to bring it up again like a little bitch.
Yeah.
Our first not question comes from friend of the us, Colin at Pagetish, who says Korone 3 seeing 3 zone and linked us to a clip of Inugami Korone playing Mario and running into...
No, 3 brothers!
No,
Three
3 brothers.
No, 3 brothers.
But...
So, next question that's actually a question comes from Tumblr user at Helenin. What mythical creature would you, Roy, and Fallon fight to the death in a cave as a mutual romantic gesture?
Whatever they toss at me.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
I just really would like for it to be kind of an approachable size.
Yeah.
Maybe a respectable size, maybe not eyelet sized. Maybe
Yeah.
like a chupacabra or something.
That'd be cool. I'd fight a chupacabra.
Yeah, let's fuck up a chupacabra.
Let's fuck up a chupacabra.
I love that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Jove asks at Ask Jovery, of course, asks if the Xuanwu of Slaughter was just a regular, if kind of grouchy and bitey, little turtle, who do you think would be the best pet owner of said grumpy little turtle? Why? Zhang, because they're the same fucking being. They're the same thing.
Huaisong, because A, Huaisong already has a canon spiritual turtle. 2, Huaisong having the pet version of a Zhangcheng.
That's really funny, but also, do you think that turtles get, like, jealous? Are they, like, territorial of their masters?
That's a good question.
Do you think Huaisong's magic tortoise might take some kind of offense to Huaisong adopting this new tortoise?
See, now I gotta know. Are turtles territorial? Territorials. Are turtles territorials? Okay, box turtles are not aggressively territorial.
What about tortoises?
That's a good question. Yeah, because are tortoises territorial? They're not aggressive creatures. They can be territorial and moody.
Moody?
But with the right care, the potential for aggression can be significantly reduced.
Oh, wow. Barbara's really tearing through the cabbage today.
Barbara?
Yeah, she's in one of them moods.
Oh, she's in a mood.
She's in one of them moods.
I have another question from
Jove at Ask Jovery asks, if you could have a very cool move / technique a la court assassination, what would it be called and what would it do? Mine would hands down be something having to do with farts. Sorry about it. That's probably the most lethal thing on my body. In my body as well. It's farts. I don't know what it'd be called. I just fart and it'd hurt people.
the Deadly Rip.
The Deadly Ripper. What would yours be?
I can't fucking believe you.
What would yours be? Tell me.
I don't know. The Good Post.
Yeah, you really post good. Yours would be a good post.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's my, the good opinion.
The good opinion. That's it. And it just KOs them.
It KO, yeah. Opinion that kills you when you hear it. Let's go over to Tumblr. We got a few.
Okay.
Oh boy.
So first question is from friend of the show, the trashiest of cans. They ask, I don't know if y'all have watched The Boys on Amazon Prime, but if the Model Zushi characters were any of the Boys AU, what superpowers would they have? What major incident caused Wei Wuxian to fall out of favor in the soup world? Who is actually a good superhero who wants to do the right thing, and who is a corrupt tool of the multi-billion-dollar corporation? Who are the non-soups? Thank you for your time. I've been thinking about this AU for far too long. I watched, like, most of the first season of The Boys with my mom and aunt, like, last year, so I'm sorry, man. I don't really got too much for this.
I haven't
I mean, I really appreciate your super specific AU requests, but, like, you gotta understand, I don't pay that much attention to the media, and Roy has seen maybe 3 shows in her life. So we're operating on fairly thin knowledge here.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Boys. I did get to hear my dad talk about how much he liked it like a week and a half ago.
I mean, it's good. Your dad probably likes it for the reasons that he likes. Your dad probably likes it for the reason that he likes most things of that nature, and they're the wrong reasons because he doesn't understand them. Wei
Wuxian has necromancy powers. Wei
Wuxian has necromancy. Sorry, not to dismiss this, but it's a lot of questions at once, and I really appreciate your enthusiasm, but we got a lot of questions.
Yeah. We'll get back to it if and when we watch more of The Boys on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
This is a good one.
Next question is from Tumblr user Oatplant. They asked, would you rather fight one normal-sized Xuanwu or 100 baby turtle-sized Xuanwus? 100, because in the times that I have been surrounded by baby animals, they have acknowledged me as their master and converged upon me. So I think I would have a fighting chance with 100 baby turtle-sized Xuanwus.
That's fucking true. You have been cat master. I think you would easily be turt master.
Yeah. It's just the vibe.
Yeah. I do have a case to make for one normal-sized Xuanwu, and that's because I don't think I could see 100 little baby turtle-sized Xuanwus and compel myself to hurt any of them.
I don't want to hurt them. I think I'd just, like, put them back in the water or something.
Yeah, they're my friends. I don't want to do that to them.
God. Next question is from Anonymous. They say, not a question, but the Yunmengjiang sect settled near water. The swimming abilities of its disciples were all exceptional. I'm sorry, all I can think of is synchronized swimming with the Zheng disciples or them being surfer bros. I love both of those. Synchronized swimming is especially funny. Just imagining Zhang Cheng taking it very seriously in his little bonnet and his little suit, and they're doing their little water ballet. I think that'd be incredible.
On the other hand,
surfer Zhengs?
Zheng's rip that fucking gnar, though.
Zheng's rip the gnar. I don't know what to tell you, but they rip that fucking gnar.
Rip that fucking gnar.
That's incroyable. I love that shit.
I love it.
Next question is from Anonymous, a friend. They ask, I think it's interesting that the novel makes it sound more like Susha hitting Wei Wuxian was an accident, when I'm pretty sure the Donghua made it seem on purpose. What do you think he meant to do? I think that the Donghua was probably doing that thing where they really needed to make it more black and white in order to avoid the censors. That would be my assumption. I think that Susha...
I think it was an accident.
I think it was an accident. I think he's a very opportunistic person, but I do think that it was an accident and he's just a fail son.
Yeah, I think he was trying to do hero shit, but he isn't competent enough to pull it off.
Not at all.
He got too excited.
Yeah,
he psyched himself out.
He did. That's exactly it.
That's my take.
So, is this our final question?
Yep.
Final question is from another anonymous pal. They ask, hi there, FNR. My question today isn't super funny or anything, but I was wondering about this while listening to a recent ep. It sounds, you're not too excited about going through Yi City Arc again next year in the Donghua. But do you have any favorite scenes that you are particularly looking forward to seeing animated? Also, I gotta add a really quick one about Scum Villain, if that's okay. Do you ship Mo Shang?
Hey!
Thanks again for the great show, Mishka.
Ooh, okay. As far as shit that I am excited about, any 3-Zune stuff, give me that shit.
Any 3-Zune shit, I love Shao Xingchen and I love Songlan. That's the thing about the Grasses arc. I would have been so much happier with it if it had focused on Songlan and Shao Xingchen. I know A lot of folks probably rightfully think that that's the boring way to do it, but I'm personally just not a fan of those kinds of plot developments or whatever. I'm not a fan of characters like Shuiyang. I really would have preferred Songlan and Xiao Xingchen and Qing doing their thing.
Yep.
Personally. So I'm really excited to see them. I am so fucking excited to see Qing getting her shit.
That's my daughter.
I think she's gonna look. I'm so excited for Qing.
Yeah, I want to see their character designs so bad.
I want to see their character designs really, really bad.
I want to hear their voices. I want to hear what they sound like.
I know. So it's not even that I hate the entirety of the grasses.
We just hate Shuiyang.
I just hate Shuiyang. I'm so sorry about it.
It just fucking sucks.
It fucking sucks. And the scum villain question: do you ship Mo Shang?
Do we ship Mo Shang?
I don't want to upset anybody here, but I think I ship Mo Shang harder than I ship Bichu. If I'm being real, like Mo Shang is that shit. Like, on top of being aesthetically that shit, the fact that Mo Shang in canon is this man's literal fictional wet dream that he created specifically to be his specific fictional dream man, and now he gets to fuck him in real life. It's the best possible shit to me. It's the best shit. It's so good. I'm sorry. I'm just thinking about it and I'm like, wow.
What do I have to do to get that to be my life?
Oh my god, I know.
The fuck?
Are you kidding me?
What the fuck?
I don't know what kind of karma Shang-Chi racked up for himself, but I need to figure out what he did. Bless that hamster man. Best, like, absolute S-tier ship. Chef's kiss.
Hamster banana.jpg. Love that shit.
Hamster banana.jpg, except it's a
popsicle. It's a rocket pop.
It's a frozen banana. From Arrested Development, their last name that I've forgotten. That would be the joke of it.
That would be the joke of it.
That's gonna bother me now. What is their last name?
I don't remember. Fuck.
Okay. Well, that's it for questions.
That's it for questions.
Thank you so much for sending in your questions.
Yeah.
Once again, if you have any burning questions, queries, comments, concerns,
send them our way.
Facts about how hot Wei Wuxian's butt is, let us know. We're happy to listen.
JPEGs of Donghua Mobijun's boobies.
JPEGs of Donghua Mobijun's titties. Which I'm upset about because they're not even out. Like in his character's design. They ain't even out. It's really upsetting. But anyway,
whatever. Anyway, let's clean some house. Why don't we?
Let's keep some house.
So a minute ago I said that we had another announcement. And this is where we would usually plug our Patreon, but we got to make another announcement regarding that.
Yeah. So the whole thing about us doing doodles, Roy was the one who primarily did the doodles.
Yeah.
And her fingy is broke.
As you may have heard me detail earlier in the episode, Fingy Machine broke. Fingy Machine will be broke until the end of December or the beginning of January. Roy is not able to draw anything. Roy is very fucking upset about it. But also, we have been, like, not super on top of our Patreon to say that.
We really need to figure out a manageable way to take care of our Patreon and really keep on top of it.
And take care of our patrons.
For real.
Yeah, so if you are currently a patron, you may have noticed that we are pausing the Patreon until we figure out what we're going to offer. This means that you're not going to be charged until we unpause it. December is guaranteed you will not be charged. If January comes around and we still haven't sorted our shit out, you also won't be charged for January, but we'll get there when we get there. We do plan to do She's a Good iPad soon.
We will be putting out a new episode soon.
When/if we get an episode of She's a Good iPad out while the Patreon is paused, we'll still post the episode to the Patreon RSS feed. You'll still have access to it. All pausing the Patreon means is that everything's free for a while, basically. We won't be doing doodles or charity stuff. Current patrons will still have their special Discord roles and access to the bonus content, and we'll still be giving our thank yous and shout-outs, whatever, for our $5 and $10 patrons. So, that's basically what it is. We're just gonna kind of explore what options we have that are doable for us.
Right. It's just gonna take a little bit of tweaking. It's something that we just need to focus on for a little bit. So,
yeah.
With that said, we do have a Patreon, and if you want to donate and support us there, you can do it for as little as $1 a month.
Yep. And we will decide what you get. We will announce what you get and detail all of that when we decide it. But
we absolutely will.
For now, let's give shout-outs to our $5 and $10 patrons.
Absolutely. So I'd like to give a shout-out to our $5 sect leaders, Lenny W., Carrie, Lena, Rachel W., Audrey F., Corin, name redacted, and 420 sect leader, Sarah. Thank you so much for supporting us.
And a big old $10 thank you shout-out to our $10 chief cultivators of the show, Scout, Colin, Stefaniku, Air to Athens, and Caroline. Thank you so much for supporting us.
Welcome, Caroline.
Welcome, Caroline. Thank you for being a
fuck wagon. And thank you to Noisepace.xyz for being our podcast network.
Lots of new shit going on with Noisepace.xyz.
Extremely new shit. They've got special grade snacks with our pal, Funny Taigi Sarah.
Funny Taigi Sarah, if you want to hear about Jujutsu Kaisen anime, go check out special grade snacks and hear about a boy what eat a fingy. Check out For a Good Time if you want to hear about porn reviews.
Yeah.
And we've got new inductees into the Hall Space Noise Space Hall of Space. Hall Space Noise of Space.
Hall Space Noise of Noise.
Noise of Noise. Noise of the Noise Space. Slappers Only, which is about video game music. And Kamurocho Radio, which is about the Yakuza series. You may have previously heard it referred to as Like a Podcast or Podcast Gagotoku. Both of those feature friend of the show and former guest Jordan.
And there have also been a couple very recent additions to the Noise Space library. Friend of the show, Janosch's, all of his podcasts have been added to the Noisepace.xyz library now. So if you like Janosch, go check out.
Janosch.
I love Janosch personally, so go check out. Go check out all of his little podcasts if you enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I'm Roy.
Oh, do my little podcasts offend you?
Fuck off.
Do my little podcasts upset you?
Do they make you want to hurt me?
Do they make you want to hurt me?
Does my little gestures head upset you? Does it make you want to hurt me, Daga?
Does my little jiggy head upset you? Does it make you want to harm me?
Harm me.
Sorcerer has harmed me once again.
God. The sorcerer has harmed me once more. I'm Roy. I've been harmed by the sorcerer. I'm on Twitter at _Bnui _BNUUY. And also at Yeeling Hypebeast, which is my Mode Outside blog. And I'm also double on Noisepace.xyz. You can check out, yeah, you can check out my other podcast, Nana Roy's Nightmare Anera, where every other weekend, me and a guest go ahead and read some damn creepypasta. I've got a special thing coming up for my next episode, or in honor of the next episode, because the boy we just mentioned, Janosch, is going to be on it with me, and I decided what I'm going to do for this episode, and I found out something that I need to share with everybody, so just keep an eye out for the next episode. It's gonna be good.
Is it gonna be good, Roy?
It's gonna be good.
Oh no.
Who the fuck are you?
Well, I'm Fallon. You can find me at Twitter. You can find me on Twitter, on America's Burden, at the Twitter.
americasburden.com/@Twitter.
You can find me burdening America on Twitter. And that's pretty much all wherever that's all I am on the internet. I mean, I have an Instagram that I've updated once a month for maybe 6 years, so
Instantgram. You can also find the Pod Recesses, the show of the us, at cloudrecessespod.tumblr.com and on twitter.com/cloudrecess. You get one pod.
You do get one.
You do get one. Go ahead and subscribe to us on whichever podcast thing you use. And if you're 18 and up, you can go ahead and join our Discord. Have a good time. The link is, as always, in the description. And Ray?
Yes, Roy.
Do you know what we say at the end of every episode?
We say, a Semper Bunny.
Oh, Semper Bunny.
You are all my nephews now.
Semper Bunny.
Semper Bunny. Devil has been solved.
Devil has been solved. Good night.
Bye, y'all.